I'll just go live everywhere else. All right, cool. And we are live. We is live. Yep. All righty. And we are live. All right. So I'm just going to go ahead and put these up. All right, y'all. So go ahead and start liking. I do appreciate you all being here. I do see y'all liking this live. I do see people are slowly but surely coming in. If you disagree with what I have on the board, go ahead and come on up. I would love to talk to you. And I appreciate you being here, of course. Go ahead and come on up. If you disagree with me, I would like to have that discussion. Go ahead and everybody come on in. Y'all see what the topic of discussion is, 1 through 6. I'm just going to go live on my Instagram. All right, and we is live on Instagram. All right, so y'all should be able to see this everywhere. Y'all should be able to see this everywhere. Y'all go ahead and start pushing it out. I do appreciate you all being here. Anybody who's going to be watching me on Facebook, YouTube. Hey, Shelly, what's going on, Shelly? Over on my Instagram. What's going on, Shells? I just got to make sure that this is live on Facebook as well. And once I do that, I see people are coming in, and I do appreciate y'all coming in. Do appreciate y'all being there. So like I said, if you like to talk about what I have on the board, everybody gets about 15 minutes to speak with me. The call-in number is there. Call-in lines are open. If you would like to talk, let's go ahead and talk and have that conversation, all right? Just make sure over on Facebook it's cool. Oh, I didn't start the one on Facebook yet. All right, I started the Facebook. All right, y'all. So, like I said, if you'd like to talk about what I have on the board, go ahead and call up. My the phone number is right there. Phone lines are open. If you disagree with me, go ahead and come on up so we can have that conversation and we can talk to each other. So I know the breaking news that we got right now. Of course, all y'all know that basically American forces have captured Maduro. Now, one thing, you know, I do see all the Venezuelans like celebrating or whatever, right? I'm not mad at y'all's. What I always criticize is America getting involved in regime change. America getting involved in regime change has never turned out good. Never. Whether it's been in Haiti, whether it's been in Congo, whether it's been in Burkina Faso, whether it's been in Iran, Iraq, Libya, anytime that the United States has engaged in regime change, it's never turned out well. Never. You know what I mean? So my entire thing with us going into Venezuela is even though Maduro,
yes, hello?
Yeah, sure, he's a piece of, I'm almost done. Even though Maduro, sure, he's a piece of shit, I don't think that that was up to us to go ahead and topple him because it never turns out well for us. How's it going, bro? Are you at least 18, and did you disagree with anything I have on the board?
Yes, I'm 20 years old, and I disagree with what you said about Trump is not the president of peace.
Correct. I don't think he is. Going into topple other regimes in other countries is not peaceful. Neither is bombing Nigeria. Neither is threatening to annex Canada and Greenland. And he's still bombing other places as well, such as Yemen. He's kept up the bombing on all those places. So that's not peaceful. Why would that be a president of peace?
Well, let me ask you a question. Did he keep the music?
What music? What are you talking about?
Because I am DJ Booty Eater!
All right, guys. I do appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all being here. So, like I said, let's go ahead and keep on talking. Yeah, Hezbollah, I think, has been attacking people in Yemen, and what's going on in Yemen? It's a bit complicated, right? So there's Hezbollah. I think there's the Houthi front, if I'm not mistaken. Someone can correct me there if I'm not mistaken about the Houthi front. But also Saudi Arabia is involved in that too. So it's a big issue. Hezbollah is basically I say Hezbollah. Yemen is basically like a quagmire.
Call from
Jordan.
How's it going, Jordan? Are you at least 18? And did you disagree with what I had on the board?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Oh, and hello?
Yeah, I'm here. What did you disagree with and why?
I disagree. Well, let me see. America, I disagree with number 1, number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think Trump's pretty bad. But okay, so probably like all of them except for 6.
All right, cool. Yeah, I don't think America was ever great due to the fact that it never lived up to its actual principles of liberty, justice for all, and in some case, we even fight against it. And we never like lived up to the principle of having equal opportunity for all either, because your opportunities are heavily dependent on your socioeconomic status and your race. So because of
Correct.
that, I don't believe that America was ever great.
Well, you're correct that and I'm pretty sure we debated before, but anyways, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, you're correct that we had a pretty bad past in the beginning, even though I think it had some benefits. But saying America was never great, I think is dishonest. There's definitely some good years that America was pretty great. I think the '80s was pretty good. The Cold War was ended. I think in the 1940s, I know you're going to bring up, blacks didn't have rights and stuff, but I still think it was good. We defeated Japan, and trying to think of it. I think it's dishonest to say it was never great. I mean, do you really think like there's no certain time and period in America it was never great?
No, because if you said I was going to bring up, black people not having rights or having less rights or having less protections. If there's a large section of your population that doesn't have the same rights, doesn't have the same protections, you don't have a good society. That's
yeah, but they have rights right now, though.
Yeah, we have equal rights right now, right? We have equal rights right now, but we don't have equal opportunity. Our opportunities
you do.
No.
Okay, let's debate about that. Let's debate about that. I'm pretty sure. I'm assuming for sure you believe there's white privilege, systemic racism, correct? Or right?
That's been proven.
Well, let's debate about it. Let me think. The reason why blacks struggle with jobs and opportunity and all that stuff, and it's because of. Okay, before I say, I'm uncensored, right? Like I could say anything.
No,
like not like
it's
no, not anything derogatory. Just like my opinion on what the problem is.
You can list your
that, right?
Yeah, you can say your opinion, and I can state why I think it's wrong or not. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure because last time you cut me off, but it's black culture. It's the blacks themselves. Not every single one, but for the majority. I'll give you some examples. 50% of black kids, you could search it up, do not have a father figure in the house. Like that is horrible, and that's just horrible. And this is just a fact by the FBI report in 2019. 13% of the population, and the blacks are 13% of the population, but yet they still commit 52% of all crimes. Black people are more likely to commit a crime than whites and Latinos both combined. I think that's concerning.
Okay.
So at the end of the day,
let's go towards two things.
Wait. At the end of the day, it's blacks themselves, and we need to help them. And we need to we just need to help them. I think we need to help them. But yeah.
Okay, great. So if you think that we need to help them, then you agree with number 3. But the other thing that I would say is that when you say that it's the culture, I got to ask a question. Where does culture come from?
Where does culture come from? Themselves, right? The people.
No, culture comes from your environment.
I guess you're right.
Yeah, culture comes from your environment. So if culture comes from your environment, you just said it's not the blacks. I'm not sure why you even saying it like that, but it's not black people themselves, right? It's the environment in which we live in. So if the environment in which we live in is causing negative outcomes, does that mean we have to change the environment?
I'm confused. Listen,
I know you're confused. Let me go on to the second thing. You said black people are 13% of the population, but commit 52% of all crimes. That's incorrect. Black people represent.
True.
No. Let me finish. Black people represent 52% of arrests for unalivings, for murders. That's what we represent 52% of.
And most of them are true.
Hold on. No, every other crime we do not represent 52%. That's crazy, because when it comes to SA, and even essay on children, the majority of those are arrested by white men. When it comes to violent arson, meaning committing, hold on, wait, let me stop, let me finish. I'll let you talk. I let you talk. Let me finish.
Okay, I'm gonna respond.
Hold on, let me finish. I'll let you talk. Let me finish.
After.
When it comes to violent arson, meaning arson with intent to harm somebody, the majority of that are represented by white men. So is sexual assault on children that's mostly white men. Assaults, just regular everyday assault, the majority of that is white women. Burglary, the majority of that is white men. Kidnapping, the majority of that is white men. So when people say 52% of all crimes, that is untrue. Y'all are reading that, and I'm not reading the statistic right.
Well,
y'all see, hold on, wait, hold on, let me finish. Y'all see, hold on, let me finish. Y'all see the one on, hold on, y'all see the one on murder, and y'all think, oh, that's all crime. That's not all crime. But the second thing that I would say is that yes, black men do represent the arrest rate of about 52% of the murders. You know what they also represent? 50% of the exonerations for murder. So think about that. If we're being, if black men if murders are 52%, black men are represented 52% of the arrests for murders, but also 50% of the exoneration for murder. What does that tell you?
Can I respond?
Yeah, you can respond.
And I don't want to interrupt you, man. I just I'm going to tell you, and I'll let you go, okay? Listen, what I was going to say, you made me forget because I was going to say something. Per capita, no matter what you're going to say per capita, in that group, per capita, blacks commit more crimes. You're bringing up these stats about white people are the majority of robbery. Of course, because they're the majority of this country, 60%, I think, or it's dropping, but 60%, that's going to make sense. They're the majority of the country. But the numbers that we see is black people in their group, 13%, on average, in that group, commit more crimes. They're 8 times more likely to commit a crime than a white person. And sexual assault, I'll double check that per capita. I'll double check that. I don't know, but I can't even say. I'll double check that to see if white people are per capita on that.
Per capita, they're higher.
I'm not done. At the end of the day, and you brought up environment. Yes, I understand there's bad environments, but let me remind you, the Asians were discriminated. Okay, the Vietnamese were highly discriminated. They were in concentration camps. They're the poorest group in America. And look at them now. They're the richest group in America per capita. They're the richest. Their average income, I think, is like
I'll let you respond. I got you.
I'm not done. So at the end of the day, per capita, and in the group itself of black Americans, they have a serious problem in culture, leaving children.
Can I respond now? Can I respond now? Okay, because they did the same thing over and over again. When it comes to per capita, you realize that per capita is affected by population, right? So when you have a lower population, but they have when you have a lower population and they have a high rate, of course the per capita rate is going to be higher than white people because your per capita is affected by the population size. But the second thing that I was going to say is that all of this just shows my point. It all goes back to the environment. Because number one, when you say that Asians were discriminated against, Asians never had their neighborhoods burned down. Redlining was never targeted towards Asians. Highways. Hold on, let me finish. Because
how do you know that? Though?
Because they actually admitted it. The people who did redlining specifically did so in black neighborhoods. Asians were not the target. Let me finish, bro. Let me just finish. I told you already. When redlining happened, I told you already. Yeah. When redlining happened, it wasn't targeted towards Asian neighborhoods. It was targeted towards black people. Period. It wasn't targeted towards Asians. The second thing that I was going to say is that when it comes to things like such as the war on drugs, which also affected black Americans and our communities with police and everything like that, that was targeted towards black people specifically, not Asians. Not only that, Japanese Asians, they got reparations. So they were able to build back after the concentration camps because they received reparations. There's also what we're talking about when it comes to bias. People tend to assume that an Asian is more competent than a black person, even if they have the same experience, even have the same skills. People just simply assume that Asians are more competent. So bias still has a play here. I'm not going to say that within black culture there are no negative aspects. There are negative aspects in every single culture. We all know that. but it's not. But the negative. Hold on.
No,
But the negative
culture.
and every
not
single
Asian culture.
and Asians do have negative aspects in their culture, bro. Yes,
no,
they do.
Don't.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
Abuse is accepted. What are you talking about?
Why are they? Why?
Hold on. Let me finish. Let me finish. Let me just understand.
You can't respond.
Yeah, I can answer that. You said that Asians don't have. You said I'm going to answer that. Still, you said Asians have no negative aspects of their culture, but if you ask Asian women, patriarchy and abuse is very accepted over there, especially on elders. So that's a negative aspect, right? We're not saying that all Asian men or anything like that are abusive, but cheating and abuse are very much accepted. Those are negative aspects. So hold on. Let me just finish. I'll talk to you about how Asians got richer. The Asian immigrants who came in are in the upper echelons of Asians. Asians who are poor, you realize there are still poor Asians, right? Like the Laotians. The Laotians are on the bottom tier. They have just as much problem as Black Americans have. And I could also give you another example of people who have just as much issues as Black American has. Native Americans. Are you going to say that Native Americans have the same culture we have? They don't, right?
Oh yeah, they're more stable.
No, they're not. Native Americans have this.
Yeah, they are. What do you mean?
Native Americans have just as much problems as we have. Missing parents from the home.
They don't do the
missing parents from the home. Missing parents from the. Yes, they do.
Wait, so they,
hold on.
Wait.
Native Americans. I'm responding to you. I'm responding to you. I'm responding to you. You have to shut up for a second. Yes, Asians. Because I'm trying to respond, and you're still talking through me. You asked me, do Native Americans have missing fathers in the home? Yes.
50%. No, that's not what I said. 50%. 50-50. When you look at it,
Black people don't have 50. Black people don't have 50% of parents missing from the home. As a matter of fact, the CDC study showed. The CDC study showed that black men are the most involved with their parents. What black people have is a higher rate of cohabitation and a lower rate of marriage. The fathers are still involved. There's a lot of them just don't live with them. Yes, they are.
Wow.
The CDC study. Have you heard the CDC study? Have you heard of the CDC study? Yes or no? Have you heard of the CDC study? Yes or no?
Wait. Black.
No. Stop, kid. Let me hold on. Answer the question. Have you heard of the CDC study on Black fathers? Have you heard the CDC study on Black parents?
You're just okay. You're the one.
This is what we're gonna do. I'm not gonna fight for the mic in my own live. So he's on hold right now. He can't hear me. All right. I'm back now. Every time you keep interrupting me without answering the question, I'm just gonna put you on hold. Listen to my question. Have you heard of the CDC study on Black fatherhood? Have you heard of it? Yes or no?
The CDC. What?
I'm going to ask you one more time. There is a CDC study on Black fatherhood. Have you heard about it? Yes or no?
I believe so. I believe that's where I got the 50-50. So
then it debunks what you're saying, because that same study said that the Black fathers are the most involved with their children out of any demographic. Hold on, wait. No, I'm not, bro. Like it's the fact that you're not listening. You're not listening.
No, you're not.
You cannot listen if you talk. You cannot listen if you talk. You cannot listen if you don't talk. You cannot listen if you're talking. You cannot listen if you're talking. You cannot listen if you're talking.
No,
so
you're being dishonest.
You cannot listen if you're talking. Did that CDC study? Yes or no? 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 Did that CDC study show that Black fathers are the most involved with their children? Yes or no?
When they leave their kids, no.
It didn't say that, bro. You're lying.
Yes,
it didn't say that.
What do you mean? Okay, you want me to show you then?
No, it says that Black fathers are the most involved with their children. Even those who don't live with their children are the most involved. That's what it said.
That doesn't make sense.
I know it doesn't make sense because you can't read.
Okay. When you leave your kid, you are not involved in that.
Who said anything about leaving the kid? Who said anything about leaving the kid, bro? Who said anything about leaving the kid? Who said anything about leaving the kid?
That's the study.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. That's how I know you're lying, because that's not what the study is.
I'm
The
not
study is talking
lying.
about. The study is talking about. The study is talking about involvement in the home, the involvement of fathers
Dude,
in the
you're such
home.
a cancer,
The
man.
study
You're
is
the
about
enemy of black,
the
man.
study.
You're the enemy,
The study. Yeah, I'm the enemy, and you're an idiot.
You're a cancer.
I'm the enemy. I'm the enemy, and you're a dumbass because you can't read.
Oh, you're an idiot, dude.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on. If you guys like what I or would like to discuss what I have to say, please go ahead and we're doing call-ins. We're doing call-ins. All right, guys, go ahead and if you would like to call in or have a discussion with me, go ahead and call in. I appreciate you all being here. Y'all wonderful. Yeah, we're not doing that again. All right, guys, keep on going. Keep on liking the live and keep sharing, liking the live, keep sharing it. I do appreciate it. On y'all, I do appreciate y'all. Okay, Eric House, go ahead and come on up, Eric House.
Call from
Jason.
How you doing, Jason? Are you at least 18? And did you disagree with what I have on the board?
Yeah, I'll be 42 here in a couple weeks. And yeah, just noticed your show. I disagree with number 1.
Yeah,
and
sure.
I'm interested in talking about number 3.
Yeah, I think America was never great because we never actually lived up to our principles of liberty, justice for all, and equal opportunity for all. All those are heavily depend on your race, your gender, and your social economic status. And if we can't live up to our principles, and many times we even fight against living up to it, we cannot be great.
I gotcha. And could you go over number 3 real quick? What's your position on that?
Black Americans should get reparations, not only for slavery, but for redlining, the war on drugs, Jim Crow, etc.
Gotcha. Oh man, I have the thing pulled up. Cool. Okay. So I'm a veteran myself. I definitely don't think our country was just like it was, back in the day. But the day that comes to mind is June 6th, of 1944. Our country pulled together on D-Day, to help stop the Third Reich. And I think that was the best time in American history where where I think we would consider to be great as far as what we did, not only for our country, but for the world.
What on D-Day?
Yeah, D-Day, June 6th, 1944. Yeah.
Black people were still second-class citizens. It's not great.
Well, I mean, as far as yes, African Americans. It was horrible what was done to them. There's no excuse, no any of that. But if I'm going to play devil's advocate, and again, it's not to excuse it. I mean, look at Koreans, right? So I think Koreans had the longest period of slavery. I think it was like 1,500 years. Koreans, if I remember right. And I think in 2021, there was a state here. I think they raised 46 million. There is reparations, I think, paid out right now to the Black community. Let me find it. Do you know which one I'm talking about?
No, reparations to the Black community. Like where? Which state?
Yeah.
I know there's a bill in for California.
Yeah, let me see here. 2020 task force 2021. It's here, I'll read it to you. It says the Jesuit Conference of Priests pledged to raise $100 million for the descendants of enslaved people. This pledge is the largest monetary effort of the Roman Catholic Church to atone for its slavery. Mm-hmm. In 2021, 15 million had been pledged, mm-hmm. and the last research I did said like 46 million has been raised.
Yeah, sure, it's been raised, it's been pledged, but has it gone to anyone as of yet? Give me a second. Anybody who's calling in, I'm gonna finish with the person I have, and then I'll get to you. But when it comes to like it's been raised, but has actually been forwarded to anyone at all?
Let me see.
And while I'm looking it up, the problem I see with reparations is, I mean, how are we going to do it? So are you looking to like for the government to do it? Should it be community based? What do you think?
Yeah, the government should do it because the government was involved in the damage towards the African American community.
Gotcha. Okay. So it said right now the money got paid out, 170,000 in scholarships. There's elderly support as far as home modifications, and then there's racial healing grants. Has to do with large scale art display in New Orleans. I think the big criticism, actually no cash has been paid out. They're just trying to help like the sociology behind African Americans, no cash.
I mean, yeah, that's great. I see the Catholic Church is trying to do something to atone for their role in slavery. I think that they should. That's all good and well. But the comprehensive reparations that we're talking about for African Americans in the United States, that'll be something completely different. And I don't think just African Americans should get reparations. I think that Jamaica and Bahamas and Nigeria should get reparations from the United Kingdom. Places like Senegal and Burkina Faso, Haiti especially, should get reparations from France. All the colonial powers who were involved in basically destroying these societies and enslaving those people should get reparations. When it comes to the United States in particular, the United States government was involved in making sure that African Americans were targeted for poverty and for criminality, right? So that's the only reason why marijuana became illegal, because somebody went to Congress and said that black people are smoking it, and if white girls smoke it, they'll have sex with black men. That's I'm not even making that up. That's literally why it became illegal. You see what I'm saying? So because of all that, because of these things, because the United States government is especially, and a lot of companies as well, were involved in damaging the African American community through policies like redlining, then it should be reversed. Essentially, when it comes to redlining, I do believe in cash, all the money that was gone, and not just for slavery, but for the wealth that African Americans were not allowed to build during that time because they were redlined. That should be paid back. But I will also say there should be reforms to the criminal justice system, reforms to the education system, how we do that. All of those need to be reformed up and down, right? Because those affected African Americans as well. And not only that, if we reform those, it wouldn't be only advantageous to African Americans, it'd be advantageous to everybody else, because the criminal justice system doesn't only target African Americans, it also targets poor whites, because that's the slave class essentially. Like we're the slave class, basically, us and poor whites and Native Americans, anybody who's poor. So if we reform those systems, that will be advantageous to everybody.
Yeah, no, myself, I grew up in Argentine, Kansas. It's gang affiliated, brick roads, $15,000 homes, and I was the first one in my family, to graduate college. And I think that's the best way. I don't think there's enough financial literacy to warrant handing cash out to people. And if we were to do it, the two things I would say is, if we went the cash route, I think it's dangerous if we let the government do it, because I don't know if it's necessarily giving power to the government, but it's more of the government getting their hands into our lives. I think it should come from the community you live in if we're going to go down that route. Whether it be fiscally or I firmly believe education. Find the people that want to do certain things and then help them get it. And I think colleges, it wasn't DEI, affirmative action. Correct me if I'm wrong, and I really don't know, honest question. Wasn't affirmative action, weren't certain races and groups, they got privilege in certain institutions and jobs if they were a certain race. Am I wrong there?
There was some of that happening, right? For example, there were some colleges and that in jobs, they had quotas, but that was made illegal because that discriminates against others, which I kind of understand. But when you actually read the affirmative action, when you read the provisions of it, it's all just protecting qualified minorities. You're not able to discriminate against these people anymore. It never says make a quota. Right, that's not what affirmative action says. Now, if a company chooses to do that, that's really their own fault. But nothing in affirmative action says make a quota like 5 of your positions or 50 of your seats in college have to go to black people. It doesn't say that at all. You know what I mean? So it was all about just not excluding people who are qualified to be there from being there. Some places did take race into consideration, of course. That did happen, like recently with Harvard. They took race into consideration, but the reason that they did that is because, like, it's obvious, because we're talking about history, some races have been at a disadvantage, and if you have an historical disadvantage, but you're still able to succeed and do multiple things, what will happen if that barrier is not there anymore, where your skin color doesn't matter? Now you can let's see if you can do even more with that. That's why they took race into consideration, but that wasn't the only thing to consideration. But because it was, they said you can't do that anymore, so they eliminated it. But even when it comes to affirmative action, the people who benefit the most from it is white women, not even black people. So it's like a lot of black folks are not really high up on, being mad about it. But what it was supposed to do was basically protect qualified minorities, not just give a job to anybody.
Okay. To be honest with you, I haven't much looked into it. I don't have a lot of ground to like debate that topic specifically. Mm-hmm. I just know when I hear like the idea is to have the government like subsidize, in this case, reparations. I just think that that's a scary road to go down. African Americans, they did a lot for the country to help build it. World War II, World War I, a lot of the wars, they were pivotal, front lines, they were taken advantage of. That being said, though, like women for a long time in this country were completely disenfranchised. So if I were to have to pick a stance, I'll go back to what I said: community driven, set aside. I don't know if taxes would work, but I think we would both agree, considering I think we have the same view as the president right now. I don't think it's a good idea to get the government involved in handing out mass cash.
So kind of like reverse taxation. I've heard of that too. Like Milton Friedman came up with that idea. Do reverse taxation. That's something that I've brought up to people as well, saying that might be something that works, because like it's not, it has better optics than the government just handing out a check. But I gotta go ahead and I do appreciate you calling in, but I do have a lot of call-ins and they still want me to answer, so I do gotta go move on to those. But I do appreciate you being up.
Could you just answer D-Day though? What do you think about D-Day?
Yeah, D-Day was a day when we invaded Normandy, right, to go ahead and liberate the Europe from the Nazis, basically.
Exactly. I think that was the biggest point in American history where America really showed the world. And after the war, America, for I think about 10 years, was the manufacturing powerhouse in the entire world. So America literally like made things to help the countries that were rebuilding still have stuff. So I think in those years, maybe 5 to 10 years toward the end of World War II, post World War II, I'd argue heavily that we were a really, really good country back then.
Yeah, it's just that because black soldiers were still discriminated against and still couldn't benefit from the GI Bill, that's what I would disagree. But I do appreciate you being up. I got to go ahead and answer the other caller. All right, I appreciate you.
All right, thanks for your time, bud.
No problem. Have a good night. All right, so whoever just called in, go ahead and call again. I'm sorry I didn't get to you. You're calling from an unknown number, so go ahead and call back in, because I'm sorry I didn't get to you, but like I have to go one at a time. I don't have like a queue yet. I don't have that yet. Once I get the queue, then we'll be able to have more call-ins. But I do appreciate y'all once again. Shout out to the Deconstruction Junction. I see y'all all there in the comments. If you would like to call in, go ahead and call in. And shout out to my channel, Valsy Thoughts, as well.
Call from
J Anonymous.
J Anonymous, how's it going? Are you at least 18? And did you disagree with what I have on the board?
Yes, I am, and I do disagree with a few things you do have on the board for sure.
All right, sure. I'll go ahead. I went ahead and put 15 minutes on the clock. What did you disagree with and why?
Well, let's talk about the first thing you talked about, which is number 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you believe that there should be reparation for black people? And I'll be clear. And do you mean only black people?
Yeah, I mean only as far as the United States go, I'm talking about only African Americans. Now I do
Okay.
believe that there are other groups who have an argument for reparations against the United States. Mostly the Native Americans. They're the ones who have the if besides African Americans, Native Americans have the best case for reparations. But when it comes to as far as reparations for African Americans, I think that should happen because the government was involved in basically the destruction of their community. And if the government
Okay.
is damages something, why shouldn't they fix it? It's just the right thing to do.
I got you. No, no. And you make a valid point. Now let's start from the beginning, right? Because obviously there's a beginning to the effect of the aftermath of what happened when we talk about the Jim Crow era and all that. But do you believe that Africa should at least give some reparation and be involved in that reparation as well, since there were African empires that were involved into the gatherings of slaves and they were selling them, right? And then we're not only talking about blacks, right? We're talking about all kinds of descents, right? There's even documentations right now currently that you had, uh, people from all parts of the world that were captured and they were used as slaves and they were sold over in different parts of the nation, right? So do you believe that Africa should be part of reparations, since they were also part of the trade and monetizing off slavery as well? Do you believe that?
Um, if those empires still exist, which they largely don't anymore, if those empires, if any of those groups and those empires still exist and they're still benefiting off of that time, then yeah, there's a conversation there for that they should need to be involved in the reparations. The issue is that they largely don't. And the issue is that any wealth that they could have had was squandered essentially. Like, for example, the Dahomey
Well,
Kingdom, right? The Dahomey Kingdom was involved in slavery. Dahomey doesn't exist anymore. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, where are you going to get the reparations from? That ethnic group was actually one to happen to ethnic group is that they got enslaved themselves. So it's like that doesn't really exist anymore. So where are we going to get the reparations from? They don't
no,
exist.
but
You know what I mean?
but that's almost, I know I got you, but that's almost being oblivious, saying that slavery and racism have completely disappeared in Africa itself, which it hasn't.
No, it
I mean, you got
hasn't. I
people
agree
right
with that.
now.
Right, it hasn't. But if the conversation is about reparations and where to get it from, the homie doesn't exist anymore. So where are you going to get it from? And not only that,
No,
like I
no,
said, the tribes that were involved in that, they got enslaved by the Europeans themselves afterwards. So where are you going to get it from?
well, we never got stories that it ever got dismantled. Now, and then going back to it, and even going back to, to the John Crow, right? Going back to that time, right? There were times and place, right? And yes, I'm not sitting here because even myself, as a minority black man, I could definitely agree with you in saying here that, hey, we did go through a lot of trial and tribulations, but there were points in America where we were free, right? We were no longer being sold. We were no longer being monetized and used for profit and trade. Then at some point, we also gained our right to vote. And even when it comes down to a scale of money and how to pay and how to create that money, it just mathematically, it just doesn't make sense. We have an average of close, and again, we could go over the numbers, and I don't want to throw numbers out there because I don't want to be wrong. But black people were not the only ones that went through the size of slavery as well. We also have the Puerto Ricans, right? The Latino group that went through the slavery era, and also was sold. That was also sold and used for trades.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
it's not only just people that were only being used and sold for slavery, but we're talking about a big group of people that were being used and enslaved. So if you talk about only black people, then at that point, you're just kind of singling your group. As if black people, as us, as ourselves, we're the only ones that suffered through slavery and selling trades and being, like if we didn't go through, like
that kind of just
all as people.
I got you. Okay, so that kind of really like it's not understanding my position of what I'm saying. I'm not saying only black people suffered during times of slavery. The Native Americans did too, which is why I said besides African Americans, Native Americans have the best case for reparations. You know what I mean? So when it comes to Puerto Ricans, a lot of Puerto Ricans are Taino, which means that they're Native American. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them are black too.
Indians.
Yeah. A lot of them are black too. You know what I'm saying? So that's there. You see what I'm saying? So it's not like I'm completely forgetting groups like the Native Americans and groups like Latinos, because a lot of especially for those who are Mexican or mestizo, so they're essentially indigenous too. You see what I'm saying? Like I've seen a lot of Mexicans who are basically indigenous. They're Native American. They just
I
speak
got
Spanish.
you. So your point. So you're kind of generalizing all of us as far as in black.
Right. So
and what the
let me just explain. What I'm trying to say is that my position is that I know best the case for reparations for African Americans. Native Americans do have a case, but I'm not really the best one to argue that case. A Native American person should argue that case. You see what I'm saying? Because they have they have the historical knowledge of what's going on there. I have a lot of that too, but I can't make the connection as much as they can. But I'm pretty sure there's someone else who can make the case for reparations for Native Americans. They can and they should, and I do think they have a case. You see what I'm saying? But I'm just talking about African Americans right now. I'm not saying no one else deserves it. You could probably even make a case that probably well, not them actually, because they got restitution. But yeah, you can there are cases where you can say that these groups also should be repaired for what the government did to them. But right now, I'm seeing the two groups in America that have the best case for that is African Americans and Native Americans.
I got you. So I understand your position. So let's move forward, because I'm not trying to waste too much of your time. I really want to understand this too.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4, why should I believe in? No, honestly, let's why should I believe in your God?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Now let me ask you, like, where does your faith sit at? Where do you sit at in your faith right now?
I'm an atheist.
You're an atheist.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So for you, there's no existence of a God.
To me, I don't have any evidence that one is real, so that needs to be shown to exist first before I believe it.
I got you. Do you believe that there is a moral principle that there is a God?
Do I believe there's a what now?
Like do you believe, like, if I go ahead and I hit somebody, do you believe that that's a bad thing? That's a bad thing for me to do?
Yeah, if you hit them unprovoked and there's no reason for you to do it, yeah, that's a bad thing to do.
I got you. So who, for you, in your atheist point of view, who makes that decisions on whether or not, hey, this was wrong, right? Because at the end of the day, since there is no God, at the end of the day, what you and I say is just an opinion.
Yeah, that person does, because you cause, well, not even that, just that person, just objectively, if you ball up your fist and punch somebody in the face and you either injure their jaw or injure them in some other way, you injure the person like for literally no reason at all. That's wrong.
No, I get that. I get that. I get that. You and I are completely in the correct. But for me, I have a faith in God that you're going to get justice. Now, for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously you uphold the law, but anytime at any place, we could all gather up together in your worldly view and say, hey, what I did to you was actually correct and it was the right thing to do, right? Does that at that point make it correct?
No, it doesn't make it correct just because you say so. We have to look at the consequences of what you did.
Okay, but who makes an agreement into that? Like who decides that?
We as society decide that. That's how it's always been.
Okay, so but let's say like you and I and like 6 other people are in the room, right? 3 of you guys decide, I say that is wrong. I say that is right. You guys say that is wrong. What then? We
look at the consequences. We look at the evidence.
So, but you see how unsustainable that is?
No, it's sustainable.
Right? It's not.
If there's 6 people in the room, if there's 6 people in the room and 3 of them disagree, all you have to do is now look towards the evidence. What does the hard evidence say? Like let's come up with a punching example. There's 6 people in the room.
So the evidence.
Hold on. Listen. There's 6 people. I'm using your example. There's 6 people in the room because you punched somebody. 3 people said it was okay. The other 3 said it wasn't okay. Right. So now we have to look at, why do the 3 say that it was okay? Was he defending himself? Well, was there something else going on? Was it a mistake? And the other 3 say, why do y'all say that is wrong? Did he just do it out of nowhere? Did he do it out of malice? What was the reason? And then we go into what happened to that person's face when he did that, etc. Hold on, let me just finish. What happened to that person's face? Yeah, what happened to that person's face after the fact, etc., etc. You see what I mean? This is how we determine what was right, what was wrong. Now, the 3 people who said you were right to do it because they witnessed that dude push you almost into the street and said, you know, I'm gonna smash your mom or something like that, and then we could say, okay, yeah, he was ready to punch him in the face because he put him in danger, right? But if the other three said, here, we have a camera here, he's just walking on the road, and this dude decided just to punch him out of nowhere, that's evidence that you just hit somebody out of nowhere. So you were wrong. That's what we come up with.
But you're basing it. I got you. No, and look, you make a valid point, but you're basing it off what law and order is being made right now, based off the principles of it there being a God, off a justice system, right? You and I can come down to a disagreement and saying like, hey, you know, I hit you because I believe that that's my way of saying hello, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who are you to determine that by me smacking you in the face is not me saying hello, but to you is a disrespectful matter?
Because
it becomes a culture thing, exactly, right? Because it's something that
it can become
because I let you talk. I got you. It becomes something that is cultural. It's culture. We came to realize that a society that is just based off culture beliefs, there's chaos. I mean, we've seen it in several times in our world now. Like, look, even in our own Americas now, right? Where at one point people thought that slavery was correct, bro. I think we forget that. At one point there was a time that in Africa and even now people thought that slavery was correct. Now, the only people that didn't believe that were people from Christianity, people that has moral values.
That is very wrong,
brother. Where do you think Christianity comes from? Let's kind of clear that out.
The Middle East.
You think it comes from the Middle East? Brother,
yeah.
It doesn't. It comes from Africa.
It doesn't.
The oldest Christian Bible, yeah, it does.
The oldest Christian Bible is Greek.
No,
it's not. No, it's not the Ethiopian Bible. The Ethiopian Bible. The Ethiopian Bible is the. Hold on, listen. The Ethiopian Bible is the oldest illustrated Bible, but the oldest textual Bible is the Sinus Canatus. That was way before the Ethiopian. Hold on, wait. Stop. Listen. Stop. Listen. Have you ever heard of the Codex the Codex Sinaiticus? I think it's
Sinaiticus.
Yeah.
The Codex Sinaiticus.
Yeah, that existed before the Ethiopian Bible.
No, it did not.
Yes, it did.
That's there. You know what? You know who wrote the Codex Sinaiticus?
Hold on, let me look this up. The Codex Sinaiticus.
Yes, please. No. Look, let's stop it right here. Look up the Codex Sinaiticus, because at this point you're kind of mixing up your information. Look up the Codex Sinaiticus. Let's not mislead the people. Look it up, and then you will see that the Codex Sinaiticus was written right after Jesus Christ's death, brother. Because they even describe.
So hold on, wait, hold on. So hold on, dude. Dude, hold on, stop, bro. All right, stop, please. Every time you do it, I'm just gonna put you on hold. I'm gonna answer you, but don't just run over the conversation. I'm going to answer you, but hold on, I'm going to answer you, but don't just run over the conversation. All right,
go ahead.
So the Codex, the Ethiopian Bible was not written after Jesus died. The Codex Sinaiticus was.
I never said that.
Are you gonna let me finish? The
Codex Sinaiticus.
You're not listening. That's what I mean. That you're not listening.
Go ahead.
I didn't say you can't listen if you're talking.
Go ahead.
You can't listen if you're talking.
Go ahead, brother.
You can't listen if you're talking. Be quiet.
Go ahead, brother.
Shut the fuck up, bro. Be quiet. Be quiet. This shouldn't be hard, dude. Be quiet.
Go ahead.
All right. If you say go ahead one more time, I'm gonna hang up, bro.
Go ahead, brother.
All right, guys. We're gonna go ahead and move on. So the Codex Sinaiticus is older than the Ethiopian Bible. Yeah, another professor. You can you can come up if you disagree. I'm only taking opposition for now, guys. If you agree with me, I'm not gonna take you up for now. But if you disagree with me, I'll take you up just so we can go ahead and keep talking.
Call from
Nutty Professor.
How you doing, Nutty Professor? Are you at least 18? And did you disagree with what
happened? Way past 18.
All right, cool. Did you disagree with what happened on the board?
I disagree with everything the last two callers had to say.
You disagree with everything the last two callers have to say?
Yep, I agree with everything you're saying, everything you got written up.
Oh, okay, cool.
The only thing I differ on what you're saying is I believe black people
are the true native of this country.
You believe that black people are the true Native Americans?
Yep. I think if you really look into it, there's some guys on TikTok now, the Earth Speaks, and Now You Know the Truth. They make a very good case. They show a lot of good evidence to this. But that's my personal belief.
What's
you
their
can go with the Native Indian and all that.
What's their
in regard? Yes.
What is their genetic evidence that this is the case?
Well, I can't break it down like that. There's a lot to it. That's why I gave their name, so you follow up with them.
Do they give
like right now?
Do they
that's
give?
just my opinion.
Let me ask you: do they give any genetic evidence, or are they just giving conjecture?
Yes, tons of evidence. How they came from here over to Africa, how they got North Africa running up and started, how North Africans have more genetic trace to Black Americans here than other Africans in the rest of Africa.
Yeah, of course, because Western. Okay. Yeah, of course, because we
but
descend,
not because they came here.
Hold on. Let me just finish. We descend from Western Africans, so of course.
No.
Hold on. They hold on. Stop, bro. Let me finish what I'm saying.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Yes.
Yes, we're going to share a lot of our genes with Western Africans. That shows that we descended from them. Native Americans don't share the same genes as Western Africans, at least not in the same allele frequencies. They don't share those.
Okay, listen, I don't want to get into an argument with that now. I suggest you check out The Earth Speaks and Now You Know the Truth. They can show you the evidence way better than I can. I've seen them speak. I've heard them. I don't have a photographic memory to be able to break it down from A to Z. In regards to reparations, I believe this country owes not only Black people here in America, but the entire Caribbean reparations in regards to slavery. Okay?
I agree with that.
This is why they have removed education and history from this country, because if people knew the actual truth, there would be no argument. During World War II, they took Japanese people, all of them, and threw them into camps, into jails. Okay, they gave them reparations. They didn't give them college. They didn't give them breaks on here. They didn't give them tax breaks. They gave them money, reparations. Mm-hmm. Germany, in regards to what they did to the Jews, gave them reparations. They didn't pay for college. They didn't give them good credit. They didn't give them tax breaks. They gave them reparations. What is the difference with Black people? Okay, They took Black people. They broke up families. They killed them. They unalived them. They did terrible things to them. They owe reparations. They just don't want to admit it, and they don't want to pay. Right. Texas, after slavery was over.
So my God, like I do got to go ahead and take opposition, but I do appreciate you being up here, though. All right, because we agree on everything else.
I got you. No problem, but I got you.
No problem. Appreciate you. All right, guys. I appreciate y'all. Like I said, I was only taking opposition. So just for now, until we run out of people who want to call in. If we run out of people, then I'll go ahead and take up our friendlies. But I do appreciate y'all here. Y'all, let's get to 10K within 10 minutes. Otherwise, Tahir is going to turn off the comments. All right, Tahir will turn off the comments if we don't get 10K in 10 minutes. Let me just go ahead and give a couple of shout outs. Shout out to everybody who's watching me on the Deconstruction Junction. Again, you guys are amazing. Y'all are wonderful. I do appreciate y'all being here. Don't think I don't. If you're on Deconstruction Junction and you're watching this, you can go ahead and call in. If you're on my Volsy Thoughts channel, I appreciate you there as well. If you would like to call in, go ahead and call in. Vince on my Volsy Thoughts channel, he says that I look like a Smurf, and yeah, I do like a Smurf. I even have the bald head and everything. You know what I mean? I got the bald head and everything, but I'm handsome though because my wifey loves it. I'm pretty sure that your mama likes it too. Anyway, yeah, go ahead and let's keep this rolling. Let's go ahead and keep this rolling. Let's go to get the 10K likes within the next 10 minutes. Otherwise, Tahir will be turning off the comments. All right, guys? All right, y'all. Hey, shout out to Anima. Shout out to Anima. Just go ahead and let me give a quick commercial break. All right. I do have a gift goal. Let's go ahead and hit that gift goal, y'all. It's not a lot. It's only 15. Let's go ahead and hit that gift goal. I also want to let y'all know about the Black Atheist Skeptics and Humanists Cookout. The RSVP is going to be in my bio as soon as I get off. All right. The RSVP for the Black Humanists, for the Blacks, Atheists, Agnostic, Skeptics, and Humanists Cookout is going to be linked in my bio right after this live. All right. This one is for Black atheists and skeptics and spiritual people as well. This one is for Black folks. Now, if you have a spouse of another race, I'm not going to tell you not to bring your spouse. But this event is promoted for Black people at the moment. All right. Not even at the moment. This one is promoted for Black people. That's what it is. But so y'all can go ahead and join that. Please, if you see the gift goal, my gift goal is linked. Go ahead and gift me up, please. All right, and we're just gonna go ahead and wait for another call to come in. All right, we're just waiting for another call to come in or someone else to request. If you're over on TikTok, you can always request. If you're on TikTok. If you're on TikTok, you can request. And if you're on any of the YouTubes or Facebook, you can call in. All right, gonna bring up Michaela real quick.
Hey, Boofy.
Hey, how's it going, Michaela? How's it going?
Child. Well, I just want to say this, right? And you can add this when someone else calls in. I'm like, because I've been seeing these pretending arguments, like, just all around. And Black Americans did go through ethnogenesis, just like the Black people in the Caribbean did. We are our own separate ethnic groups because of the things that we went through. So we don't have direct ties to the African continent. So I would say that we are our own cultural and ethnic groups. That is a fact.
Yep.
Right. And I feel like a lot of Black Americans, because there's a lot of appropriation of our culture, even from Black people from other places that do not like to give Black American credit, that's where a lot of argument is coming from. However, I do want to add this to the conversation. First of all, there's no genetic evidence of that. If you are Black and you are Native American, it's probably because you were like to hear. She just mentioned in the comments, she has a Black and Native American parent. So she is Afro-Indigenous, right? That's not who we're talking about. Native Americans, actual Native Americans, are not racially Black. I'm talking about the original ones, that when people came here and colonized, they were not colonizing Black people. They were colonizing completely separate groups. I also want to add to this, because the last caller, he had mentioned that he agreed with reparations. How is it that Black Americans have a reparation claim if we are not descendants of enslaved Africans?
Yeah, exactly.
But Native Americans.
Yeah, exactly. That would sound that would be kind of silly. What would be the reparations claim then? Like it's
what is the reparations claim if you're denying that Black people are in fact descendants of enslaved Africans?
Exactly.
There's no claim. Now, you did say that Native Americans do have a claim, but it's a completely separate claim.
Separate claim, yeah.
Native Americans did not go through in fact, some of them owned slaves. In fact, if you look at the first, like some of the original 5 Native nations in this country, they in fact owned slaves. I believe the Cherokee, the Chickasaw, and et cetera. They in fact owned slaves.
Exactly.
So I don't know where this argument's coming from, but I want someone to tell me, because as a fellow Black American, if we are not descendants of enslaved Africans, then what is the reparation claim?
Yeah, that actually is true, because that's where like reparations have to start off with slavery, unless you're going to talk about
because the whole point of because it starts right, because that's the whole point of ADOS and a lot of these different things. It's specifying that we are descendants of chattel slavery in America, the United States of America. So if we are not descendants of enslaved Africans, what is the reparations claim? Why are we saying the reparations are for descendants of chattel slavery in America if we are not descendants of enslaved Africans?
Enslaved Africans, exactly. What would the reparations claim be about at that point? That's why I've always said these things are silly. It's like, y'all, why are y'all trying to be everything but African. Yo, we are a descendant from African people, and there's a beautiful history there, a tragic history for sure. You know what I mean? But there's still a beautiful history there. Like I hate to get into the we was kings thing, but because not all of us was kings, a lot of us was fishermen and potato farmers, but still, there's
I'm
entire
like, and
cultures
I
there.
agree. And let's be clear, right? As far as what we go through, as far as the constant ethnic erasure, because I'm like literally, it's funny because if you're Haitian, I literally just got into an argument with a Haitian woman on this app trying to claim that New Orleans culture comes from Haitians. So there is ethnic erasure that happens from Black people from different places. And I feel like that needs to be combated. You have Jamaicans out here claiming that they started hip hop, even though the person that they claim started it, DJ Kohlherk, has said on repeated occasions that he got it from ethnic Black Americans.
He said that's what he was getting the music from. Yeah, exactly.
Yes. So I'm like, so there are, I'm like, we literally just went through like not that long ago where these Black British women on this, we're claiming that that Caribbeans and Africans in the UK have their own version of soul food. So there is disrespect and there is erasure that is taking place. Even the whole conversations around,
Give me 1 second, Michaela.
Okay.
There we go.
Call from
Jose.
I'm sorry. Did you say your name was Colfax?
What?
What'd you say your name was?
Jose.
I don't think I could hear you. You said Colfax?
Jose.
Oh, Jose. Okay, Jose. Sorry about that, Jose. Jose, are you at least 18? And did you disagree with what I had on the board?
I haven't seen what you had on the board because I do political debating. But are you a pro-Trump or anti-Trump? And yes, I'm 21. I was born January 2nd, 2005.
I am anti-Trump.
You are pro-Trump? Anti-Trump. Okay, I'm pro-Trump. Okay. So what do you think about Maduro being arrested?
I do not trust America going into regime changes, right? Here's the thing. I get that Maduro, okay. Hold on, let me finish. I get that Maduro was awful to the Venezuelan people and needed to go. I understand all of that, right? But I think it should have been done properly because whenever America does regime change, especially when we evolve ourselves in places like South America, it never turns out good. Regime change is why regime change is why we have the entire issue of narco states today, because like they wanted to protect South America from communist influences. We ended up funding like drug traders down there, and then we ended up with an entire drug problem in America because America was intervening in South America to fund people. Hold on, to fund the Contras. You see what I'm saying? The CIA has already admitted this. So hold on, you saying that
how it started?
You saying the CIA never? So you saying the CIA never got involved with the Contras?
The Contras, eh?
The Contras.
Contact to me?
The Contras.
Yeah. No, what I'm saying is narco started when Mexican farmers who disagreed with the Mexican government, they started smuggling, and it just turned into this big thing. That's how the cartels got their start, my friend.
I know that part. I'm talking about the Contras. I'm talking about the Contras from Colombia. Do you know about the Contras?
Oh, no, I am not.
All right.
Colombia.
I understand that. But what I'm saying is that America has involved itself in South Americans' affairs before, and the CIA was funding the Contras in order to fight against the governments down there who were more towards the left. And the Contras were selling drugs in order to fund themselves. So I'm not saying that the Mexican cartels absolutely started with the CIA funding them. Of course, there was other ways. What I'm talking about is the fact the reason why the entire drug problem in America started was because CIA was funding the Contras down in South America, buying their drugs, bringing it to America. Bringing it to America, and American drug dealers were selling it to people. That's how the crack epidemic started in America, because of American involvement in South America. Anytime the United States has involved itself in regime change, it always ends up bad every single time. So when it comes to Maduro, I get Maduro had to go, but I think the proper way should have been through the international courts, et cetera, pressuring him to leave, things like that. I think I think America had enough support from Western powers and even in South America to get Maduro to get out, right? To pressure him to leave.
Well,
we had enough.
Well, this was a deal.
And if it wasn't, and if it needed to be an invasion, cool. Let's go ahead and go through Congress first before we involve ourselves.
Horrible. You're pro-invasion? That's horrible.
I'm not pro-invasion.
Cool.
I'm not pro-invasion. What I just said, you're not listening, bro. I didn't say we just should have invaded. I said,
in fact, you said the exact opposite.
Yeah, I said the exact opposite. I didn't say and we had to go ahead and invade. I said, if an invasion was the one that was inevitable, let's do it with our partners in South America in order for that to happen. Now, I don't think that we needed to go that far. We could have just pressured Maduro to leave.
Okay, I see what you have to say, but this was Maduro being captured by American tropas. That was not it wasn't a random raid in the night. This was a deal that was probably negotiated previously. This was premeditated, negotiated with Venezuelan officials who wanted Maduro out. So him being captured is more a propaganda thing to make his image look better to his people.
Okay, what evidence do we have that it was a deal with the Venezuelan official?
I mean, you look at the common view. So his people already hate him. He wants to go out in like a blaze of glory. He wants it to be a big thing. But really, this was a negotiated deal. Maybe he was in mind, although I doubt he would turn himself over.
Okay, this doesn't really answer my question.
And
what evidence? Hold on, listen, hold on, bro. I'm asking you, what evidence do we have that this was a deal associated, that was negotiated with Venezuelan officials? Because Trump didn't say that. He just said that we captured Maduro. He didn't say with our partners in Venezuela. He didn't say this is what we did. That in 30 said we went in there and we captured him. So what evidence do we have that this wasn't just a regime change that happened overnight?
See, that was barely a theory of mine. But really, my big issue with the whole Maduro being captured is I'm for it. Because number one, he was a pro-murderous dictator. He was pro-murder. He was for murder. He killed a lot of people. He starved his people. Google the Maduro diet. In 2018, it got so bad that the people had to eat.
Jose, I'm sorry to interrupt you. But I think you're misunderstanding my position here. I'm not here saying that Maduro was the greatest guy in the world. I do understand that he had to go, right? I get that. But my thing is that with America being involved unilaterally with regime change, that does not turn out good, bro. It never has. Yeah, I mean, you can say that this was great that America captured him and got him out of there because now the people are going to be free. But Trump also said he's going to send his Secretary of Defense down there in order to run the oil industry. So this wasn't done at the behest or for the good of the Venezuelan people. This was done for America to keep the oil for ourselves. That's why it was done for.
I see what you're saying.
That's not going to be good for Venezuelans, bro. That's all I'm saying.
I see what you're saying. But my big issue is we have white liberals who have never experienced the brutality of a true dictatorship under Maduro. And then they see.
I get all that, bro. I get all that.
Which is horrible.
Okay, I get all that. Hold on. Jose. Again. I understand that Maduro had to go. I get that. There are white liberals who have never been through shit that are now sticking their mouth into it. I get that. That's not the angle I'm coming from.
We as Black Americans and Black people have talked about them on several occasions. They're annoying.
Hold on, because he's not gonna be able to hear you. But what I'm saying, Jose, is that when it comes to America going down there and toppling governments and trying to change the regime, that never turns out good for America or for the country. Hold on. That never turns out good for America or for the country that they did it to. And it is what's happening because, again, I asked you, what evidence do we have that this was done with partners in South America and at the behest of Venezuelan officials? You told me it's just your hypothesis. There is no evidence that it happened. Trump himself didn't say that happened. He said America went in and got him out of there. So that's not what happened, bro. Your hypothesis is not what happened. What's happening is what I said, regime change. That never turns out good for the people or for America. Never does.
Not a regime change.
How is it not a regime change when he literally took out the leader of that country and said that he's going to put in his own leader to run it? That's a regime change, my friend.
We only arrested him, and we haven't sent in anyone to topple the rest of the government.
The vice president is now the president now.
Yes.
So see, my screen is black. I'm gonna come right back.
Mm-hmm. Bring me back up. Part of that regime, so it's still the same regime.
So
and
what?
Also, this is a very good thing for Venezuelans because it means most likely we will get to be free We've been suppressed
How
for a long
do you know
time.
that? How do you know that?
How do I know that? How do I know we've been suppressed?
Because hold on, no. Stop. My question was because your claim was now people are going to be free, but you also said the vice president is part of that same regime. So how are you going to be free when the vice president, who's part of the same regime, can't they just do the same shit?
Oh, I never said we would be totally free. I said we'd be free. What I meant to clarify is Maduro. We'd be free of Maduro, man.
Okay, so just because you're free of Maduro doesn't mean that the country is actually liberated, does it?
See, and honestly,
so if the country is actually not liberated, and America is, Trump is saying that he's going to send his own person to run that country and run the oil industry, what exactly do you think is going to happen now?
What do I think is going to happen? I think Venezuelans will get to be free, and it's going to create jobs because the oil companies need workers, and we can work.
How is that going to be the case when the same government exists?
Because that government will destabilize and collapse in and of itself.
So regime change. So regime change.
No,
that's my point, bro. I agree with. Jose, I agree with you. And now that Maduro is gone, the next regime that's going to be now is going to become unstable and topple, and Headsex is going to go ahead and take over. That's regime change. That's exactly what America has always done. Whenever they go, hold on, wait, listen, let me finish. Let me finish. Whenever America goes into another country to do regime change, they do exactly what they did in Venezuela. They either assassinate or kidnap one of the leaders, and then the regime topples because it becomes unstable without the leader. That's regime change. That's what they're doing. So when you say that a regime change is not happening, this is exactly step by. Hold on, bro. Let me finish. This is exactly step by step what regime change is. World War II is not analogous to this. World War II is not analogous to this because Germany declared war on America. Venezuela did not declare war on America, my friend. It's not the same thing.
No, they did by sending their drug boats in. So
what evidence that we have that those drug boats were against America? Because we don't have any evidence of that. It's just something that Trump is saying. There's no evidence.
You can clearly see there as drugs.
No, you can't. The only thing you saw is barrels.
Right out there. You can see it out there.
Hold on. So Jose, drugs were not coming from Venezuela. They were coming from Colombia. The boats that he was blowing up in the Caribbean, we have no idea if there were drugs on them because he blew them up. There was no investigation. But the second thing is that the majority of drugs come from Colombia and Central America, not Venezuela. So saying that he's sinking drug boats and he declared war on us because Maduro is the head of some drug cartel, there's no evidence of any of this. He's just claiming it. What evidence do we have of that?
What evidence do we have? He stated it. It's a very public organization. Yes, he did.
No, he didn't.
Search up Google Maduro and Sun Cartel.
Okay. Okay, cool. Hold on. Did Maduro claim to be the head of a cartel? I'm not finding anything about Maduro claiming to be part of a cartel.
There's the Solis Cartel, Cartel of the Sun, which he ran.
Yeah, Cartel of the Suns.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, this is still alleged, bro. Give me a second.
It's not. Okay.
Maduro claimed to be the head of Cartel of the Suns. Okay, let's read. All right. So while multiple incidents of Venezuelan armed forces, members of the Bolivian Republic, officials participating in drug trafficking have been documented, the U.S. allegation that the Cartel of the Suns constitute a formal organization organized and network led by Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro has generally been rejected by independent experts as unsubstantiated. So this claim has always been unsubstantiated, according to what I just looked up. You said that he claimed to be the leader of the Cartel of the Sun, but I'm not finding anything about that. I'm finding that it's been unsubstantiated that he's the leader.
Secret organization.
All right. So if it's a secret organization, how the hell can he claim to be part of it?
Because I claim that.
All right, y'all. We're gonna go ahead and move on. I do appreciate everybody being here. Y'all are wonderful. Shout out to y'all. Give me 1 second. Yeah, Michaela. Requested again. Give me a second, Michaela. All right, y'all. So I do have. Oh, it dropped. All right, y'all. So I do have a gift goal. Go ahead and get that gift goal up. We're at 12K likes over on TikTok. I appreciate that. Over on the Deconstruction Junction, y'all are keeping the views up, and I do appreciate that over there as well. This probably will be the end of my political week, and I'm gonna go on to a strictly religious week in next week.
Call from
JD.
Davey, how's it going? Are you at least 18? And did you disagree with what I have on the board?
Yeah, I'm JD. I'm 18. I'm over 18. I guess
see you got a
few with.
I see you got a 305 number. Dade County.
Yeah.
Born and raised County of Dade.
Yeah, Dade County.
Beam. I'm sorry. I just have to do that for a second. All right. So you'll get that reference. I'm pretty sure you get that reference. But yeah, what did you disagree with?
Okay. Well, I guess the whole thing that America was never great. Like, America has been great. It's still great, even with all the imperfections that we got going on now. It's pretty great, dude. Like,
when did America get great?
There's a lot of messed up stuff going on.
When did America get great?
When did America get great? I guess we got to define what is great before we can have a conversation.
Living up to
what is your definition?
Living up to, when it comes to countries specifically, living up to the principles and protecting equal rights and human rights on a basic level.
So holding up to the value of the country's equal rights. I guess like it's the tough question to answer if you say from the inception of the country. Right, because like you talk about like,
yeah, there was slavery, so America wasn't great during slavery. Well, we can't include that.
I mean, in the sense that like, yeah, that part was, I guess, messed up. I guess you would say the end of slavery right then and there. Right?
Black people were second-class citizens, so there was no equal rights, and so were Native Americans.
No, black people were first-class citizens at the end of the Civil War.
No, we weren't.
Yeah, they were with the 14th Amendment. Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't mean that you're an equal citizen.
Yeah, they were. That's literally what
they weren't. What's Jim Crow, my friend?
Now, that's what the 14th Amendment ended.
No, it didn't.
Wait, Jim Crow laws.
Jim Crow laws came after the 14th Amendment, bro.
Well, yeah, you're right.
Okay, look, so because and after after the Civil War.
As a Black American, I want to contradict what he's saying.
Yeah, I got you, Michaela. Give me a second, Michaela.
Segregated.
All right, so yeah, there was still segregation, like the Black codes. There was still Jim Crow, and even in the Midwestern states, there was a lot of sundown towns and discrimination and like lynchings that were happening there. You know what I'm saying?
Still are,
as a matter of fact. So none of those are. Right.
And just I'm like, just so we're clear, they exist in the North too, because people like to ignore the North racism.
Doesn't mean that the country as a whole isn't like a grandstanding of a great nation for a society.
Yes, it does.
Hold on. Give me a second. All right, Michaela, he's not gonna be able to hear you, so that's the thing. All right, so
no, I'm like that's why I'm asking you to tell him what I'm saying.
All right, I got you. All right, so yeah. So if there's slavery, if there's segregation, if people are not being treated as equal, you cannot still be a great society. How can you be?
Because overall, okay, you're talking about slavery ends, you have the 14th Amendment, you still have Jim Crow laws, you have separate but equal, right?
Black
still at
code.
the time, like, for the most part, yes, there is injustice, yes, there is inequality, but you can make the argument that we have injustice and inequality today.
Yes,
right?
That's why it's not great.
Just because
that's why it's not great
doesn't mean that our society isn't great.
Yeah, it does because if we're not living up, if we're not living up to the principles of equal opportunity, of liberty and justice for all, then that cannot be great, bro. That's why I said America was never great. It still isn't. Now that doesn't mean that we can't be. We definitely doesn't mean that we can't be. We definitely can be. We're just not doing it right now, and we should be. We should be striving towards it.
what I'm trying to say is that you'll never have a truly equal society. The moment you have a truly equal society,
yes, we can.
I would love to see a truly equal society.
But the thing is,
point, you're breaking
right, but
so many factors.
Hold on. Listen,
right? Like for example,
Jose,
for example,
hold on,
versus short people,
bro, hold on. Because y'all like to just run with it.
Well, see,
right?
by the way, you're frozen on my end. I don't know why. What's going on tonight?
I'm not sure why I'm frozen on your end. But okay, so this is what I'm talking about. I'm sorry, what's your name again? JD. All right. So JD, this is what I'm talking about. Okay. When it comes to a completely equal, of course, not people are going to be completely equal. I cannot play basketball as good as LeBron James, right? Now that I'm a foot shorter than him, so I'm not going to be able to play as good as him. Correct. So, yeah, we're unequal at that point. But should my children have the same opportunities that LeBron James' children has? Should it be different just because he's a billionaire? No, it shouldn't be. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. So when we're talking about an equal society, I'm talking about equal opportunities and equal under the law. LeBron James' children, if they do something illegal, they'll have a way better chance of getting off, or it being like, because of their wealth and status and money, they'll be able to get way better defense than my children get because we're working class. You see what I'm saying? That's a problem in our society. It's not equal. We need to have equality and justice and equality and opportunity, and that shouldn't matter on your socioeconomic status, your gender, your race, or your sexuality. It simply shouldn't, and we can achieve that by saying that we never will. That's basically self-defeating. We can achieve that. Why not?
Because there's truth in the whole sense of, like, for example, you have buddies, you have pals. Like, it's going back to human nature. Human nature is inherently corruptible, right? So you have to create like real structures to mitigate. You cannot eliminate. You must mitigate those corruptible human instincts, those corruptible human natures, to be selfish, to care about your kin, right? Like,
correct, and we can do that.
Really hard.
Correct, and we can do that.
Racism is not natural.
We can try. For example,
homophobia, transphobia, misogyny.
That's why I say,
natural.
like, America was great, because, like, you talk about, you had the principles, you had those things, and you're implementing those. You're trying to enforce those things. You're working towards those things. And overall speaking, yeah, there's imperfections, there's inequality, there's injustice, there's all that stuff.
Ask him, I'm like, why 40,000 black women have lost their jobs if they're trying to implement those things.
That's where I'm trying to get at, is like, you have a society that actually thrives and goes forward in the implementation of these ideals.
JD. Okay. So yeah, we're trying to get to all those things, right? But that's exactly my point. My point is that in a lot of cases, we actually fight against doing those things. So if we're a society that actually many times fights against becoming a more equal society, how can that then be greatness?
Say it again. Sorry.
If we're the type of society,
the comments are off until y'all get the comments to 15K.
All right.
Like I told you in the comment.
All right, y'all. So we're not at 15K yet. So keep liking the live in order for us to get to 15K. We get to the 15K, they'll turn the comments back on.
Ask him why 40,000 black women have lost their jobs if they're trying to make it equal.
Okay, so over on my TikTok comments, JD, the question was asked: why did 40,000? As a matter of fact, I think it's more. 300,000 black women. Why did 300,000 black women lose their jobs if we were trying to make things equal?
When are you talking about this? What are you talking about? What are you referring to? I have no idea what you're referring to.
Yeah, I know, because these things don't really affect most people, so they don't know. What I'm talking about is that when Trump was was cracking down on organizations for having DEI practices, over 300,000 black women lost their jobs. If we were trying to become more equal, why would something like that happen?
Well, that's a shame that 300,000 black women lost their jobs. But was that specifically related to DEI hirings? And then you have to ask yourself, is DEI inherently, like, to be frank, like, is it favoring one race over the other?
It doesn't.
Right?
That's not what DEI does.
No, it doesn't. You don't know what DEI
does. Diversity, equity, and inclusion, and the whole idea behind it is like,
you know what it means.
It's diversity,
right?
Equity, and inclusion.
So JD,
I know what it means. The the whole idea is to like have more an equal society in regards of representation, and also if you are coming from a lower
Right, so JD,
qualified applicants.
Hold on, guys, hold on. Everybody pause. I can't hear two at the same time. So yeah, so JD, yeah, so DEI. I know you know what the acronym means. What I'm trying to get to you is that what does it actually do? What does it actually mean to do DEI? Because when you say that, when you say that it favors one group over the other, how can that be the case when all of it is about diversity and inclusion and access? Like, for example, a white man who's a veteran, he can be hired under DEI. So why would that be favoring one group over another?
Or a white gay man.
Or a white yeah, exactly, or a white homosexual man, or a white man who happens to be disabled. All of those fall under DEI.
Or a white woman.
Yeah, but like, okay, so if you're talking about a society that wants to be just, right, a society that wants to be based on fairness and opportunity, wouldn't you, let's say you have someone who is white and none of those things, right? And they are way better qualified for the job, but there's a bunch of people already in the job who are white, who do the job pretty good, but this guy does it better. But we've already got a bunch of white people, right? Well, I'm not going to hire this white guy because, well, it just
that's not how DEI.
That's not how DEI works, bro. That's not how DEI works, bro.
It's just
hold on. Listen.
So
JD, that's not how DEI works, bro.
How does DEI work?
I just told you. I just told you how it works. It's all about the diversity and inclusion. It's about making sure. It's about making sure that the people who are qualified for the job are in the job, and that the people who work in the job understand that there are diverse people there and how to work with them.
And they cannot discriminate against people based off their race, sexual orientation, or gender.
For the society.
Wait, I didn't hear you say that again.
It doesn't necessarily. It's a better outcome for society, right? Because
wait. How is that not a better outcome for society?
Because we're just looking at like what they are instead of what they could provide.
No, bro, you're not understanding what I said. That's not how DEI works. Again, it's qualified people. JD, it's not just any Tom, Dick, and Harry on the outside. They're not gonna hire me to do astrophysics. I don't know about that shit.
No,
that's not what DEI does, bro.
What DEI is saying, if there is like, let's say I have 10 positions.
No. And stop. JD, stop. JD, stop. You got hold on, JD, stop. JD, stop for a second. You're going into the claim of quotas, and that's the same thing they did with affirmative action. That's not how that works. It's not you have 10 jobs and I have to fill it with 3 black people. That's not how that works, bro. What DEI does is that the people who actually work within the company, they understand how to be amongst a diverse group of people. And for outside the company for hiring, it makes sure that they do not discriminate against qualified people. Meaning, if there are 50 people who apply for a job, 20 of them are black, 20 of them are white, 20 of them are Hispanic, and 10 of them are Asian or something like that. What it does is that it actually looks
maybe 14 are women.
Right. What it does is that it actually looks at all of them holistically and all their skills and what each of them bring to the company. It's just not going to say, okay, white cis heterosexual man, my dad knew his dad in college, he has the job. It's to stem all of that from happening.
Then let me ask you this: if Trump got rid of all these DEI programs, why did it disproportionately affect black women?
Because of racism and misogyny.
Because of racism.
So DEI
they got rid of these things that stop people from being discriminated
and because of
and
racism,
people got discriminated.
They got rid of
DEI. So hold on. So
promoting black women in the workplace.
JD. So they got rid of the thing that discriminates against qualified minorities. And then when they did that, the qualified minorities got fired. So racism,
misogyny.
Okay, so DEI is specifically getting qualified minorities into positions, right?
Yeah, making sure that qualified minorities are not discriminated against in certain positions.
So what if you have a qualified minority versus a qualified majority per se, right? someone who's in the majority, who's qualified, and their resume is slightly better. What would DEI do in that case?
The DEI would just make sure, well, like then the person who has the better qualifications, hopefully, is the one who gets hired. DEI in that case will just make sure that the minority.
DEI does
will just
not
make sure-
discriminate against white people. White people are not being discriminated.
Hold on,
That's a
Michaela.
lie.
Okay, hold on. So DEI, what it would do is that if a qualified minority and a qualified person who's from the majority are both have the going for the job, but the one who's in the majority has a slightly better resume, then typically the one in the majority that has a slightly better resume is going to get hired. Typically, that's what's going to happen. What DEI does is to make sure that the person who's in the minority, they actually get interviewed for the job, and their application doesn't get thrown away because they have an ethnic sounding name or they're a minority. That's what DEI does. It doesn't guarantee that someone's going to get a job.
So DEI is basically a law then why bring up the point that when Trump got rid of DEI, that these people lost their jobs? Like,
did you not hear what I said?
The argument that
so did you not hear what I said?
right in this country
So
discriminates people based on the race.
JD, DEI is supposed to protect qualified minorities. These companies got rid of DEI, which means those qualified minorities are no longer protected. When they were no longer protected, they got fired. What does that show you about the company that did that?
And how is America great and qualified minorities can be discriminated against?
Hold on, JD, say that again.
They were cutting costs.
They were cutting costs, yeah, and they cut costs.
No, they were not.
They cut costs on the people who they cut costs on the people who are minorities who are no longer protected. What does that tell you?
But you would have to look at individual case by case.
Bro, it's clear. Hold on. Stop making JD. This is clearly racism, bro.
For discrimination.
You gotta stop making excuses. This is clear discrimination, bro. Come on. Like, you guys are making excuses. Hold on. So okay, hold on. Let's go through this.
Okay, hold up.
Hold on. Let me just show you. This policy protects a qualified minority from being discriminated against, from being fired because of racism, from not getting a job because of their skin color, et cetera, et cetera. That's what this policy does. A president come in, he pressures these organizations to get rid of that policy. They get rid of it. And then the people who it was supposed to protect lose their jobs. Are you really going to sit me and tell me that there was no discrimination happening here?
I would have to look at like the actual law itself.
Stop being disingenuous.
Like, I don't even know where you're bringing these information and this number from. Like, you could provide it in a link or something.
Yeah, I mean, I can't give you a link to the phone. I can't give you a link to the phone, but yeah, you can actually look this up, bro.
No, you can put it on the chat. You can put it on the chat so I can look it up.
All right, sure.
Right?
We'll put it in the chat for you to look it up. All right, but like, you just look this up. That 300,000 women lost their job. You can look up what DEI actually does. It doesn't do anything that you're saying, bro.
No, I haven't said anything about
Keep on getting the likes up to 15K.
You're the one that brought up DEI.
No, you're the one who brought it up, bro.
I didn't bring up DEI.
No, I brought it up in retaliation to the America was never
you brought up
great
DEI.
conversation.
I was talking about like the country being like prosperous, even though there's imperfections, and it's a great country.
Right.
Like the fact that we're having these conversations makes the country pretty great.
No, it doesn't. If you don't have equal protections, you are not great, bro.
But dude, there's a lot of equal protections under the law. You're just saying an additional program.
Your protections, your hold on. Your quote unquote protection depends heavily on your skin color and your socioeconomic status.
And your sex.
Yeah, I bet you there are factors that go into that. Of course,
no, they're not.
Factors.
Nah, they're not factors.
No, they're not.
Because
hold on, everybody. All right, so I'll explain to you why they're not factors. They've actually studied this, right? They've actually studied what's the under the criminal justice system, what happens when a poor white person goes in, what happens when a poor black person goes in, what happens when a rich white person goes in, and what happens when a rich black person comes in, right? In every single case, when they're black, whether they're poor or they're rich, in every single case, the black person always gets harsher sentencing and harsher punishment, even when they have a similar rap sheet as their white counterpart. If what you're saying is that they had
up the healthcare system,
yeah. If what you're saying is true, JD, how do you explain that?
I literally said I agreed with you.
Okay,
You weren't
great.
paying attention,
So
dude.
you agree with me that that protections under the law depend heavily on skin color. That's not great.
Like you're talking about, okay, but you're talking about changing people's perspective. It's like,
That's not what
okay,
I'm talking
look,
about.
I
That's not
have
what
a
I'm talking about.
beard. You have facial hair. Look, for example, you have facial hair, right? People will treat you differently because you have facial hair versus if you were clean shaven. You are like,
Are you
obviously,
comparing
it's
facial hair to
disgusting the
literal
fact that people will
racism,
judge
sir?
you,
People are
but
not
that's the
discriminated
truth.
against whether
And
or not they
obviously,
have
you can
men are
have
not discriminated
protections, you can
against
have
whether
these
they have
rules,
facial
but
hair.
you're still
Hold on, Michaela. I
happen.
can't. Michaela, I
You get
can't
me?
hear
Like,
him. Give me a second. Go ahead, JD.
You're gonna still have these like it goes back to don't judge a book by its cover. It's like people are going to do it, and should it be right? No. Should there be laws to protect people? Yeah, of course, but it's still gonna happen. You're talking about taking away people's like biological defense mechanisms of like
JD, that's not what I'm talking about, JD.
whatever it is.
JD, hold on. That's not what I'm talking about. I didn't say anything about taking away their defenses. I didn't say anything about that. It's about something completely different. What I said was that this country cannot be great if your equal protection depends on your skin color. And you agreed that, yeah, equal protection depends on your skin color. That's my only point. It can't be great. Hold on. Stop. Listen. It cannot be great if your protection depends on your skin color. If your rights, your equal rights depend on your skin color. That can't be great, bro. That's my only point. If you agree with me that your liberty and your equal protection depends on how you look, then you agree with me that it can't be great. That's my only point.
Okay, so
saying that, you're trying to take away. Hold on. Saying that no, I'm not pausing. Saying that we're trying to take away their defenses and that has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. Nothing.
Okay. Let me break it down for you. On a legal matter, this country, you look at the 14th Amendment, you look at the Civil Rights Act of 1964, you can even look at the DIA programs that were implemented, even taken away. There is nowhere that says you can go ahead and discriminate someone towards their color or their race. However, the reality on a social level, people are judging all the time. And what I'm trying to get at is, legally speaking, this country says you cannot discriminate someone on a social level. That's what makes this country great. However, we're talking about human beings. Human beings will judge people, right? It's a psychological fact that human beings judge each other all the time. From the clothes you wear, from what you wear, to if you have facial hair or not, your skin color, how tall you are, how short you are, people will always judge. Is it right?
So we understand.
Obviously not, dude.
So JD, we understand that. JD, hold on. JD, pause for a second, bro. We understand that. But that's not what we're talking about. We understand that people are going to have built-in biases, and we need to fight against as much as we can against those built-in biases. The issue, however, that we're talking about is that when it comes to people who look like me, systemically on in every single industry, in every single part of our society, we get the worst amount of discrimination, and that ends up negatively affecting our employment, our health outcomes, and our education outcomes, and our opportunities. It affects all of that. So until we can change that, this society cannot be great, and neither can this country.
I would have to disagree. I think Black Americans are pretty successful in America.
I didn't say that we're not. Hold on. JD, I did not say that we're not. I did not say that we're not successful, bro. That's not what I said. This is what I'm talking about. That you're not actually listening to what I'm saying. You're just listening to respond, bro.
It's the white kind of
discriminating that you guys get discriminated more than anything. And
yes, we do.
We do.
The majority of hate and hold on, and have you looked up the who hate crimes are targeted against the most? 54% of hate crimes in 2024 were targeted towards Black people. So yeah, we get discriminated against the most.
But I'm assuming this would happen in most, if not all, countries around the world. It's not just an American thing.
We're talking about America.
We're talking about America.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is, even if there's imperfections,
your point is baseless because we're talking about our country.
Right?
Our country.
Hold on.
Do you know that Barack Obama, his skin color was dark? Like Barack Obama.
This is not about Obama, bro. Hold on. JD. You need to actually listen to what I'm saying instead of going off on what you think I'm saying. No one ever said that Black Americans cannot be successful in this country. No one said that. And we all know that Barack Obama was humongous symbol of our progress. We all agree with that.
And Obama wasn't even a Black American. He's a Kenyan American.
But despite all that being the case, what we have is an issue of discrimination in employment, in health, in real estate, and in the criminal justice system. And Black people get the brunt of those things. That's what we're talking about. And until that changes, this society cannot be great. That's what we're talking about, bro. It's not about the fact that Black people can't be successful. I think I'm pretty successful. Me and my wife make good money and everything like that. So it's all good and well, bro. And I'm getting my master's right now. I'm in school. I was a veteran, all that good stuff. My parents lived pretty well, all that good stuff, right? It's not about that, bro. It's not about the fact that Black people can or cannot be successful. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the discrimination that happens within our society and how it affects us. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, and that's why I refer to like the social level. That's why I talked about in the political sense and the social level. I broke it down in that regard. And I'm not like what I'm trying to say. You're not breaking down anything because you're ignorant. There is a lot of
you can't be discriminated against based off your color.
Yeah, sure, there's discrimination.
Michaela, I can't hear him.
I have felt discrimination too, right? But like, I think everyone has felt a certain degree of discrimination throughout their time. What you're trying to say is that like Black people get disproportionately more discrimination because of the skin color, and
there's evidence of that.
Maybe that could be true. Like that could be true. I haven't looked at the stats. I haven't looked at the numbers. Like that would be a crazy statistic to gather that information, all that stuff. What I'm saying is, regardless of the fact that, for the most part, if it is proven that there is some sort of discrimination, right, those people will be prosecuted under the law, and there will be results for that to happen, right?
Yeah, and that does happen.
Have been able to been succeeding because there is that equal opportunity.
Right. So hold on. So JD. It's been shown that this happens, right? And yeah, there are people who sue about it, and they get money from their lawsuits and everything like that. So yeah, we get it, right? You can go ahead and sue whenever these things happen. The issue is not the fact that people are able to sue. The issue is the fact that this is happening anyway, and it has tangible results, especially in the healthcare market, where where it's a saying within Black people that doctors are to Black women what police are to Black men. That's a whole saying within the Black community because of how much Black women go through within the healthcare field. You see what I'm saying? So like these are the things that we need to address and change. It's not about, oh, everybody's discriminated against. Oh, you can sue. Fuck all that, bro. People die, bro. What are we talking about? I gotta move on, man. I gotta move on. I appreciate you being on, though. All right.
Call from
Brian, how's it going, Brian? Are you at least 18? And did you disagree with what I had on the board?
Yes, I am at least 18, and yes, I do disagree with what you have on the board.
Okay, great. Which one did you disagree with and why?
Let's see here. Well, all of them, but I'm just reading top to bottom here. So America was never great. Let's go top to bottom. Why not?
Yeah, sure. I don't think America was ever great because we never lived up to our principles of liberty, justice for all, and equal opportunity for all. And in many cases, we actually fight against it. So until that doesn't happen anymore, we cannot be great.
But are there any laws that are preventing, treating people unequally? To your knowledge,
there are laws that prevent people from being treated unequally. Yes.
You're saying that prevent people from being treated unequally?
Maybe I'm not understanding your question. Yes, there are laws that are against discrimination to stop that from happening. Right? Those laws do exist. I'm not saying the laws don't exist. I'm saying that we still have an issue where your opportunities are heavily affected by your race, your socioeconomic status, and your gender. So that's a problem. So we need to fix that.
That's why I disagree with you.
Okay. So if that wasn't the case, how would you explain the fact that when it comes to example the employment market, right? A Black applicant who has just as much qualifications, just as much experience as a white applicant, sometimes even more, is still more unlikely to get employed by the same employer. And we can even look at this in the healthcare market, where in healthcare where black women are more likely to unalive in birth, even though they don't have anything different from any other white women, when they have the same resources, etc. How would you explain those two things?
I don't think those things are true.
Have you ever looked it up?
If I were, no.
So how do you know it's not true if you haven't looked it up?
Because I don't think our country treats black people differently.
So how would you explain that black people are 54% of hate crimes last year? Were the victims of 54%, but more than half the hate crimes, black people were the victims of it. How do you explain that if we're not treated differently?
Well, you got to get into semantics around what the word hate and what qualifies at it.
No, hate crimes are federal. They're very specific on what they are.
It's not going to, if you want to do sentence by sentence, we could do that, but I have kind of a nuanced take on it, and I don't know if you're able or wanting to have that conversation.
Okay, I got you, but you have to understand exactly what I'm saying. You're claiming that you don't think black people are mistreated differently, and then when I ask you, how do you explain how we're more than half the hate crime victims, you said that depends on how hate crime is defined. Hate crime is defined by the federal government very, very specifically. Basically, harassment or physical attacks or murder based on someone's race. Or not just someone's race, but someone's sexuality, basically immutable characteristics, right? Black people represent more than half of that in 2024. So they're being attacked specifically.
How many are we talking
black people are being attacked specifically. It doesn't matter how many we're talking about, bro. Of all the hate crimes that happened last year, black people are more than half of them. It doesn't matter.
Are we talking
it doesn't matter.
Are we talking 10 people?
That does not matter.
1,000 people?
That does not matter.
Yes, it does.
That's irrelevant.
Why not?
It's irrelevant because because we're talking about hate crimes here. Hate crimes are
scale.
I know you're talking about. I know you're talking about the scale, but that's not the point.
That's important.
No, it's not.
It is the point.
No, it's not.
In order to decide what is important and what isn't, you have to look at the scale of the problem. Okay, and if I'm looking at the scale of the problem, and I look at the black community, I look at that you commit around 50% as a race
here we go.
of all the murders. I mean, is it a fact or not?
Racism.
All right, 11,000 hate crimes happened last year, and actually, yeah, exactly, 11,679 hate crime incidents were reported to the FBI in 2024. So over half of that, about 8,000 black people were the victims. So you're cool with eight. So you're cool. So you're cool with 8,000 hate crimes happening to us.
No, but I think in
so this goes against. So this goes
against.
This goes against your claim that black people are treated differently.
If anything, black people are treated better.
Are not treated differently. That's what I mean.
Well, you're treated better.
How?
Equally and better.
How?
Well, through racial quotas and DEI.
Racial quotas don't exist.
Okay, well, how come funding? I mean, there's funding, there's pressure from large financial institutions that
which ones
do push BlackRock, Vanguard.
What do they do?
Have you,
what exactly do they do? What do they push?
Well, they invest. They own companies. They own hundreds of companies, which own companies. They own most of the world's wealth.
Correct. What does that have to do with black people?
Well, when they decide they want to push a specific initiative like DEI, that affects their decision making, and people who otherwise would not be qualified are considered for positions that they don't deserve to be considered for on the basis of their race.
No, they're not.
And as
that's not how DEI works. That's not DEI. No, hold on. Listen, that's not how DEI works.
It absolutely is.
No, it's not.
Unfortunately,
you haven't looked it up.
It shouldn't exist because.
So hold on. Wait. Hold on.
I need to look it up.
What does DEI mean? What does it mean? What does it mean?
It means diversity, equity, inclusion.
Those are the acronyms. Yes, those are the acronyms.
Right.
Actually, what does it mean?
That is the acronym. It's a hiring initiative that factors in race into decision making.
No, it doesn't.
And it absolutely does.
No, it doesn't.
Then why even do it? If it doesn't, then why even do it?
Because hold on, listen, Jason. Because black people work with other people of other races, right?
Yeah.
Right. So if there are going to be black people in the workforce, shouldn't those people all be treated the same within the workforce?
Yeah.
Right. And if they're all treated the same in the workforce, doesn't that mean they should all get the same opportunity? The opportunity to get promoted and everything like that shouldn't depend on your race?
Correct. Should not depend in any way on
That's
your race
what DEI
whatsoever.
does. There's nothing in DEI in any initiative that you'll find that says we're going to give minorities the promotion simply for being a minority. No DEI initiative says that. Hold on. Which DEI initiative says that? Which company who put in a DEI policy specifically said they're going to promote minorities even if they're not qualified? Which one says that?
Well, and I need to kind of flesh out my
None of them say that, bro. None of them say that, bro. None of them say that.
They factor race into it. That's what diversity
Who told you that?
Inclusion
Who
is.
told you that?
I've been alive for 38 years. I don't need you to tell me it. Everyone knows what that is. I think
right. So it's basically an assumption.
Everyone listening knows.
So it's an assumption. So you're assuming.
No, it's not.
I know you're assuming. You know the reason why I know you're assuming. You know the reason why I know you're assuming. Because when I will, hold on, you know the reason why I know why I know that you're assuming and what you're saying is not the truth is because I've worked with the DEI department at my job. What you're saying does not happen.
You know what? In that, I mean, you're working in an environment that's favored for you, and if you were equal, you should be treated equal. And people that are qualified would never know that they're actually qualified because this thing exists, and we're undermining people that are qualified because always
for qualified applicants, so they do know they're qualified.
There's going to be a question as to whether or not they're qualified.
Jason, you realize that DEI is Brian. You realize that DEI is for qualified applicants, correct?
No, by definition, it can't be.
What do you mean it can't be?
Race and
hold on. Wait. Hold on. By definition, it does not include race because is diversity only race?
Not necessarily only race.
No, it's not. Hold on. Wait. Stop right there. You just said. Hold on. Let's go to this step by step because I asked you a clear question. Is diversity only race? You admitted that it's not. So when you say that it by definition includes it, even according to you, you're wrong.
No. So because black people are included in the diversity component, black people may not factor into any given situation, but anytime black people are involved, by definition, they have to be included into that definition of diversity. So you are
hold on. So Jason, number one, I will ask you two questions. So Brian, I'm sorry about that. So Brian, I'll ask you two questions. Number one, they should be. Why wouldn't they be? But number two, wouldn't that also include people who are disabled?
Repeat your first question. I didn't.
Because your claim was that when black people are involved, they're automatically going to be added to the definition of diversity. Why wouldn't they be? That's number one. Hold on. You asked me to repeat it. Now you're talking.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So my two questions. So you said that when black people are involved, they're included in the definition of diversity. Yeah, duh. Number one, why wouldn't they be?
Right.
But number two, that definition of diversity also includes white people who are disabled, isn't it? Doesn't it? It also includes white people who are veterans.
We're encouraging white people to be weak. We're encouraging white people to be disabled or
what are you talking about?
And
what are you
black
talking about?
people to be What
are you talking about? Hold on. Stop. That made absolutely no fucking sense, bro. When it comes to when it comes to definition of diversity, yeah, if black people are around, it's going to include black people, duh. But I also asked why wouldn't it include black people? And the only thing I'll bring up is that when it comes to diversity, that also includes white people who are disabled, white people who are veterans, white people who are Muslim. It includes them too.
So black people are equivalent to disabled. Like, it's like, do you hear how like?
Do you understand exactly what I said, bro? Do you understand exactly what I said, bro? That's not what I said at all. Are you listening, or are you just waiting to respond? Because that's not what I said at all. I didn't say that black people are equal to disabled. That's not what I said. I said when it comes to definition of diversity, yes, of course, black people would be included, but so would white people who are disabled, white people who are Muslim, white people who are women, white people who are gay. They would be included as well. So what's the problem?
You're just as good as everyone else.
Of course I am.
And I believe in your right. So you don't need the program.
No, the program is needed. The program is needed because unfortunately people still discriminate, even if I am qualified.
No.
Yes.
If it was, if it were true that if you were just as good of a worker, or let's just take women for example. Let's take black folks out of it. We could use black folks in this example, but let's say for example, all women, are being paid less than men, and black folks are being paid less than white folks. If that were true,
it's true.
How come every company isn't hiring black folks? If you're as productive and you're as qualified, how come every company is not turning around hiring?
Because of racism and sexism.
If that were true,
racism is not rational, is it?
No, we're talking money here.
Right. I understand you're talking money. Listen to my question: is racism rational? Wow. You really need to think about that?
The fact that you have to think if racism is rational.
It's a big answer, and I think I need to package it in the way.
No, it's not.
No, you don't. You don't need to package anything, bro. You don't need to package anything, bro.
I have to.
So Brian.
You only let one.
Brian. I just asked you a very simple. Brian, I just asked you a very simple question: is racism rational? Is it rational that me having a different skin color means I'm inferior to you? Is that rational?
Oh, inferior. So no,
bro. Exactly, no. So hold on, Brian. You don't need to extrapolate. Brian, stop. Brian, stop. Brian, chill. We don't need to go ahead and go into a soliloquy. Brian,
you're the one that's
Brian.
What am I?
Brian. You don't need to go into a soliloquy. No, racism is not rational. So when we go back to your question of why won't these companies simply hire all black people, even though they're just as good and pay them less, is because of exactly what I said. Racism is not rational, so they're not making rational decisions. Because your scenario assumes that the business owner is making a rational decision. But if they make a decision through a lens that is not rational, they won't make rational decisions. If they make decisions through the lens of bias and bigotry, they will not make a rational decision. Like, for example, hold on, let me give you an example. Let me give you an example. Let me give you an example. Let me give you an example.
It's not happening.
Let me give you an example. 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 Yeah, I know I'm not, because I got to put you on hold again, because like now you don't want to listen. He's not going to be able to hear him. He's on music. The reason I put you on music is because I'm trying to give you an example and you just want to belligerate. Let me give you an example of what I mean.
I mean,
so it's been shown. Yeah, you're just gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna go ahead and move on.
First of all, we were listening to what he was saying, and what he was saying was nonsense, and quite frankly, what he was saying was rooted in racism and white supremacy. Yeah. To be honest, because the fact that he even had to pause like that when you asked the simple question, is racism rational?
And they had to pause to think about it.
To actually think about that.
That should have been very easy.
To ask if racism was rational. That tells me everything he needs to know, because how are you going to sit there and say that black people are not discriminated against despite the literal data that we just showed, and then say that racism, and when asked if racism is rational, pause like that? You're a white supremacist.
I'm just stuck on the fact that he said if black people can work or as skilled as white people, then why don't more companies hire black people? Are you fucking kidding me?
Are we just asked? That's literally the point. That ties it to what Vosi had asked, because I brought that up. Racism, it's literally racism. That's not rational.
Exactly. He didn't realize he was qualified. Right.
And I know he doesn't think he's racist. He thinks he probably is one of them types that because he brought up Obama, I voted for Obama twice, so I'm not racist type of thing, despite literally thinking that black people are inferior.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh man, just mental
Anyway.
gymnastics all over the place.
Literally.
goodness.
But that's all I came to say. I'm jumping down.
No problem, Tara. I appreciate you.
to hear like that shit took me out. Girl, that took me out. I don't know what like the fact that they, I'm like, and this goes to prove that America was never great. We couldn't even get past that part.
We couldn't even get past America was never great.
He disagreed with all of the points. We couldn't even get past America was never great. We couldn't even go to the other points because you're first of all, we can't even get to the other points if you're denying the existence of racism in America. We can't even get to the other point.
We can't even get to the other points. This is crazy. Anyway, guys, I've been on for about 2 hours now. I may get out of here in a few minutes. It's about to be 9 o'clock, so I got to start getting ready to go to sleep and go to work. Hold on quick. Babe, what was that, babe? No problem. But all right, guys. Okay. All right.
Everything is good with her.
Yeah, everything is good. We've been doing all right.
I'm like, tell her again that her nails are everything. Tell her, Michaela, that I love your nails.
Hey, babe, Michaela said that your nails are everything. She loves your nails. She said thank you. Babe, you want to get on camera, babe?
Yo, what's up? Hello?
You got a muumuu on?
All right. Girl. That's too much for TikTok now. Hi, love. What's going on?
How's it going, LeBron?
So I disagree on the prompt.
Oh.
Okay, cool. Can you mute up for me real quick, Michaela? Thank you so much. All right. LeBron, are you at least 18? And you say you disagree with what having a prompt?
Yes, I am over 18.
All right, great. What did you disagree with and why?
That America was never great.
Oh man, I think we're gonna use all 15 minutes on that. That's what it's been for this entire time. All right. So yeah, I don't believe America was ever great because we never lived up to our principles of equal opportunity for all and justice as well. And life and liberty and pursuit of happiness for all. We never lived up to those principles because it heavily depends on your race, your gender, your sexuality, and especially your socioeconomic status. So because that's the case, I don't believe America was ever great.
Well, I mean, look. So let me put it in this way, okay? Mm-hmm. So when Trump was in office back in 2017, he first got inaugurated, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hold up. Let me drink my...
Go ahead, LeBron.
All right. So
I know you're not disagreeing with my country, boy. All
right, go ahead, LeBron.
So when Trump first got elected, we had people following the law. Illegal aliens were at an all-time low. We had people from different countries coming to our country, which if you come the right way, I'm completely fine. That's how you're supposed to follow the law no matter who you are. I'm fine with immigrants. We're a nation of immigrants. But when you come to our southern border and you come in this country knowing that you don't have the proper vetting information, that's not okay. And this is why the Trump administration is actually being nice.
Okay, LeBron. LeBron.
Yeah.
So what? That has nothing to do with America being great. Bro.
I'm saying is that they had like all these different they had like different countries' flags. They were representing different countries.
I don't care, LeBron. I don't care. That has nothing to do with America being great. Even under Trump, America still wasn't great because we had a rise of racism.
We were America
huge
first.
Rise of racism.
It's not racism. DEI is just woke. You don't get it.
What does woke mean?
Woke means when you
woke mean?
It means when you like, for example, when someone's black and you obviously pick them, like the Haitians.
That's not what that means.
That's not what woke is.
That's not what that means. So LeBron, that's not what woke means. What woke means? Yes, I'm Haitian. So what woke means?
So
what woke means? Right? So what woke means?
Oh no, he didn't.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna get to that. So what woke means, LeBron, is that you are aware of racial and social injustice against minority groups, specifically black people.
Well, I'm not.
That's what woke means. Are you aware of racial and social injustice against minority groups, especially black people?
Nope.
So that means that you're not woke. That's all that means. It doesn't mean that you pick anybody.
Well, I mean, DEI, like Kamala Harris, she was a DEI hire.
No, come on, that's not what that means.
Kamala Harris was more than qualified for her.
No, so how come? Let me tell you this. So when someone was at his rally,
that is just plainly racism for you to even say that.
Let me say this.
Yeah, it definitely is.
when someone was at her rally, they said Jesus is Christ, and she said you're at the wrong rally.
Yeah,
remember
she
that
is
clip?
at the wrong rally
Okay,
because it's not a Christian revival story. So it's like
Yes,
yeah, she's
but
at the wrong rally.
she was an antichrist black woman who wanted
So
the job.
bro, no, she wasn't. But at the end of the day, LeBron, even if she was, who
She don't
cares?
have to be a Christian.
You don't have to be a Christian in
she-
order to run for office. What are you talking about?
Cool, but we're a Christian nation.
We're not.
Oh,
Yes,
but
we
you're
are.
not.
How do you explain the Treaty of Tripoli?
Because we're white.
Hold on.
European.
Hold on. How do you explain the Treaty of Tripoli?
Well, how do you understand about eating dogs and cats?
LeBron. I don't know how you can love LeBron and be a racist.
No,
but
he did.
how do you explain the Treaty of Tripoli? How do you explain that?
George Floyd died from an overdose.
Okay, yeah. So you're just gonna be trolling. All
no,
right.
I'm just
Appreciate you.
dropping
I'm gonna
you.
kill that
Bye.
nigger.
No, we could go ahead and drop him.
And actually, I'm gonna block you too, cause yeah, that last time did it for me. And proving that America was never great in real time. You're proving it
in real time.
People
bro.
like you are why America is never great. It's not the matter of fact. I'm like, if anything, we support America being great because we want to fight for her to be better.
Exactly.
You want to keep it the same.
Exactly. All right, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and read some comments.
I'm like, let me tell you this. Like, as an ethnic Black American, there's no more patriotic than us because we will fight for this country to be, and have fought for this country for years to be an equal and just society. There's no one more patriotic. What could be more patriotic than fighting for America to represent its principles? No one represents that better than Black America.
All right.
Nobody.
So this one says Europeans have been the global superpower and dominated the world for the last 3,000 years. Understand that makes a lot of people uncomfortable, whether we think it's great or not. I don't care. Well, okay, cool.
Well, that's because of European colonialism and white supremacy, not because they are innately better at running.
Anybody else, exactly. Then
Because here's the thing: because if they were better, they wouldn't need to put the false claim out there that they are superior.
Exactly.
People who are naturally, because let's be clear, people who are naturally superior will find themselves naturally at the top. They do not need systems and institutions to establish hierarchies with them on top. If they're superior, then they would naturally be superior.
Yeah,
they would
exactly.
naturally find themselves at the top. If Black people and non-white people are so inferior, then why do you need systems to support that claim?
Yeah, exactly. If you were superior, you just happen to be superior. You won't need to protect yourself through certain systems, through policing. You won't need to protect your property through certain miscegenation laws. If you were so superior, you would have been superior. There would be no need to keep Black people segregated from the school system or from sports or from multiple other institutions. If you were superior, you just would have been. But every single time we've been in these spaces, we've shown our talent, we've shown our creativity. Because what people don't realize is that when it comes to music and entertainment and sports and everything like that, Black people revolutionized all of that because of our creativity.
And not just Black people, but really Black Americans specifically.
Exactly. Revolutionize those things because of the talent. Now think about if there were no more barriers, if there was no more blocks, how much revolutionized can science, can maths, can the sports, not just sports, but can finances. Think about in history. Think about how those things can come about if there were no barriers and no blocks.
But here's the thing, falsely, they know that, and that is also what terrifies them.
Exactly.
They know that we will surpass them without it. If there were no systematic barriers, that we would surpass them naturally. They know this, but they don't. Which is why they have to establish that false sense of superiority.
Exactly.
If you are so superior, then prove it.
Exactly. If you're superior, then you can prove it. There's no need to put in systems to make you unsuperior. There's no need to.
If you, I'm like, let's all be on an equal playing field, and you prove that you're superior.
Exactly. There's no need to go to African countries and assassinate their leaders and to undermine their governments. If we were so inferior, you don't need to do all that. Leave them alone and let them rise on their own. Let them make their own trade deals with you. You know what I mean? There's no need to go to Haiti and tell the government exactly what to do and be under your thumb and be under your your example. Yeah,
Or even what they're doing. It's funny what they're doing in Venezuela. Again, if non-white people are inferior, then prove that we're inferior. Prove it by making it things where everyone is equal, and then let's see who dominates.
Exactly.
Let's see. Because the funny thing is that y'all know y'all can't win on an even playing field. Y'all know y'all can't.
Exactly. All right, guys. I may get out of here for a while. Hold on real quick. Which group block Jewish students on campus across America? I don't know. No, that's not. They ain't got nothing to do with me. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and see if we can get another call within the next few minutes. And if we don't, I'm going to go ahead and move on for tonight because we have been on for 2 hours. Once again, I appreciate everybody who's watching over on the Deconstruction Zone. You guys are amazing. If you're watching me over on Volsy Thoughts.
By the way, we still got to figure out how I'm going to get over to the
Black Atheist Coalition.
The YouTube.
Yeah. I still got to figure that out. But if you're over on my channel, Volsy Thoughts, go ahead and you can call in, or I appreciate you for being there. I have a comment here that says Charlie Kirk was right. All right, so Hans, go ahead and
definitely
call
not
up.
over here because I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't see it either. Yeah, so Hans Gruber, you can go ahead and call up if you are so hopped up on Charlie Kirk being right. We'll see exactly what he was right about, because I think he was an idiot.
Not only was he an idiot, but we're about to find out how racist you were, considering that he was against the Civil Rights Act of 1964, while y'all claiming that America was just this great place.
Yeah,
you know. Also, I want to say he's such an idiot that he died. He unalived. Based off his own words.
Based off his own words. He said a few of those pew unalivings are going to be need to happen in order for us to protect the Second Amendment, right? So it's like,
and I'm like, yes. Also, he was unalived at a school. I'm like, at a school. So 2 things. That he was
exactly. All right, so this person says that Kirk was racist, misogynic, homophobic, and transphobic. All correct.
Yes, he was. Correct.
All correct, y'all.
And they want to gaslight us into being upset about his unalivement. I will never be upset about that.
No, I'm not gonna cry for that.
That I'm like, for me to be upset about Charlie Kirk, that would be equivalent to me being upset about the head of the Triple K being unalived.
Yeah, exactly.
It's literally the same thing to me. Like, you will never get me to be upset about that.
Exactly, bro. Yeah, I'm never gonna be upset about that. Oh man. All right, y'all. It's just a few more minutes. I think I'll give it about to 9:15, and then I'll go ahead and get out. I'm gonna get out of here. But once again, I'm gonna go ahead and do some shout outs. The Black Atheist Skeptics and Humanist Cookout is gonna be going down this year in June, 2nd week of June, most likely, because the 3rd week is Juneteenth and Father's Day, and I'm not gonna take y'all away from y'all kids. The RSVP is going to be in the link in my bio as soon as I get off. Once I get off, I'm gonna put the link in my bio for the RSVP. I'm going to also be doing a live on the Black Atheist Skeptics and Humanist Cookout on the 10th. I'll be doing a live about that because this is probably gonna be my religion week. So on the 10th, I'm gonna do a live probably for a few hours, probably maybe 3, 4, maybe 5 hours on the Black Atheist Skeptics and Humanist Cookout, just letting people know about it, like trying to get people to come in, sign the RSVP form. I'm going to make a WhatsApp group, and I'm also going to get your t-shirt sizes so I can get you those t-shirts. All right. So remember to come in for that. Shout out to everybody who's watching me on my YouTube again. I appreciate y'all being there. Big W on the views. I've gotten my highest views on a live ever.
And be sure y'all have y'all pews, because Florida, I'm not gonna get into my business, but Florida be on some bullshit.
Florida be on some bullshit. Yes, Florida be on some bullshit. So
and I have not been to Florida since all of their anti-DEI policies, I'm gonna put it that way, and everything else is going on in Florida. So yeah, I'm kind of nervous, to be honest, to go on a plane ride from the East Coast all the way down south to Florida. That's another thing. People forget that Florida is a part of the South. Like it is the South.
It's
Like,
still the South, y'all. I'll be telling folks that this is still the South. It doesn't matter if it's South.
But by the
Florida
way,
or not.
it is still the South. Florida was a slave state. It's still the South.
It's still the South, y'all. People be thinking, oh, that's all.
I mean, culture. I'm like, no, Tamara, people do forget, people forget that Maryland and in Baltimore are technically the South too.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, I would think culturally they're more similar to Northerners because we're very close to like the DMV. Like I'm from PA and I'm like 2-3 hours away from the DMV, but technically the DMV is the South. Like geographically, it's not the deep South. It's not the deep South, but I would actually argue that Florida is the deep South. Actually,
people be thinking that because Miami is portrayed as this Latino heat and party city, that's not the South. There's a church on every corner in Miami, bro. It's still very much the Bible Belt, y'all. That shit is still the South.
Now, I don't want to think it like culture. I would think it's the South in the same way that like my family being from Memphis is the South, but it's still the South. Like it's still Southern. Like it's the deep. In fact, it's the deep South. It's just as much as the deep South as like where my family's from, Tennessee. My family from Memphis. That's where my roots are from. Like I also have some Savannah, Georgia roots. Like I got family from Memphis and Savannah. Yeah, like it's the South.
Yeah,
Maryland, in fact, was the biggest slave trade state. I don't know why y'all think that Maryland is not the South. It is the South. Maryland was the biggest slave trader and the biggest slave breeder in the entire country. Like slaves built the White House. In what world is the DMV not the South?
Yep, I'm telling you, boy. All right, but yeah, y'all. So I got that event going down. I'm gonna try to link up with Black non-believers as well. Cause I know they have a Florida chapter and Orlando chapter, so I'm gonna try to link up with them. I'm gonna try to talk to Mandisa. I know Barr was just in a interview with them just the other day. Black Atheist Ranch, was just an interview just the other day. I'm gonna try to link up with them whenever I can.
Oh, that's what's hilarious? Barr is from the same place my family's from. Like I found that when he was on YouTube. Both him and my family are both from Memphis. Like I was like, oh, same roots.
That's dope.
And it's funny because I was on a live the other day, despite being raised in the North, like someone was on live was like, oh, like, are you from Memphis? I'm like, no, my family is though. Like, what, can you hear it? And they're like, yeah, I can hear it a little bit. It's like, and I'm like, yeah, because I got my family accent a little bit. Like, I'm like, it's really weird because my family's from the South, like my accent is mixed with Northern and Southern. So it just kind of gives this weird and sometimes it's more Southern than Northern. It's hard to explain.
Yeah.
You know, like how when immigrants come to America and their children sometimes, despite sounding very Americanized, they'll have their parents' accent a little bit. Like that is literally what happens.
That's what happens
with my family being from down south.
Yeah. I mean, I get that. I definitely get that because like when a lot of just come Haitians, right? I could still hear their accent, but depending on where they live, they have a whole, like the Haitians that live around North Miami sound way different from the Haitians that live like in Little Haiti. Like they have way different accents, and it's always funny to hear.
It's a mixture of Americanized accent with their native
Haitian accent.
Like,
it's
like, and that's literally what happens like to Black people whose parents and grandparents are still from the South. Like I'm like my family is like some Black people have been in the North for like 5-6 generations. So their family sounds like Northern. They sound like they from New York. They sound like they from Pittsburgh. Like they sound like you could tell they're from the North, whereas like people whose parents and direct lineage is from the South, but you were raised and born in the North, like it's a different thing.
Yeah, exactly. You can always tell.
Like I still speak Southern Black AAVE very fluently, very fluently.
And what's funny about it is that like Florida was around us Haitians, like the AAVE gets like mixed in with Creole a lot. You know what I mean? But it's like you can kind of get the gist of what's being said if you know the context. You know what I mean? So if you know the context and someone asks you, yo, where you was yesterday? I said, yo, yesterday I was with my dom. You know what I mean? Like if you say yesterday I was with my dom, yesterday I was with my girlfriend or with my woman, or the girl I'm talking to. You know what I'm saying? Because if you know dom means like dame, then dom means dame.
Like and it's funny because like I can't hear it as much.
Mm-hmm.
Like because one of my aunties, she sound like, girl, her southern accent is real thick, but I can hear it, but I can understand fluently because again, like my family's directly from the South, so I grew up hearing their voices and accent, and I actually get like really offended by the fact that I'm like, bitch, I'm not from the South, like I'm not, but it's just like, girl, your family from the South, like your accent comes from your family being from the South mixed with you being from Philly, so it's a mix of both of those things together.
Best of both worlds. All right, let me see. Let me take a look. I think I got one person who's gonna call in. It's over on my YouTube, Inglorious07. Yeah, I was gonna say call in, but since you can't call in, that's okay. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here because I'm past the time that I said I was gonna leave, but I am gonna go ahead and leave. Yeah, remember to follow Michaela on that profile. Gift her up as well. Appreciate you being here. All right, Michaela?
Oh, absolutely. And also follow me on KK Reloaded 4 and 3. I think 2, but mainly 3 or 4.
Gotcha. I appreciate
the number 3 or 4.
Appreciate you. All right, guys, I'm definitely gonna go ahead and get out of here. It's past my time. You guys are wonderful, y'all, and I want y'all to have a good night. I want y'all to always remember to stay safe. Always remember to ask y'all to be smart. Remember to be observant. Remember that you are a fallible person. Always remain a thoughtful person. All right. That's just my motto, to be soft. All right. So y'all go ahead and take it easy. Shout out to the Deconstruction Junction once again. Shout out to my channel over on Volsy Thoughts once again. Big W on those numbers tonight. I appreciate y'all, and y'all have a good night. We are going to hit the gift goal next time. And I am back here every Thursday through Sunday. All right. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I am also always here. This week, I think I'm going to do just religion this time. Let me show y'all what I'm going to be talking about for this week. For this week, this is going to be the topic. I'm going to ask, can you give me a good reason to believe in your God? That is going to be the topic for this week. I can't wait to see y'all there because these are always good conversations whenever we have those. So hit the subs, y'all. I appreciate y'all. Over on a Deconstruction Junction, once again, my channel is Volsy Thoughts. So next week, that's going to be the subject. I'm going to be doing religion next week. So once again, appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Remember to be